ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, E-T-H-O-S, ethos.com/Mike.
The Iranian foreign minister has issued a direct threat against the United States, warning of retaliation if attacked. This comes after Tehran's crackdown on protesters and as a U.S. aircraft carrier group moves toward the Middle East. Abbas Araghchi made the threat in an op-ed piece, blaming armed demonstrators for the violence. Videos from Iran show security forces targeting unarmed demonstrators. The death toll from the protests has reached at least 4,519, according to U.S.-based activists. More than 26,000 people have been arrested, with fears of executions amid the ongoing tension. A 6-year-old girl has survived Sunday's deadly train wreck in southern Spain. Her parents, her brother, and a cousin are counted among the 42 people confirmed dead from the horrific wreck that has shaken the country. Relative Juan Barrasso confirmed her age to reporters in Spain. News and analysis at townhall.com. Health officials will meet this spring. They'll reevaluate the United States measles-free status.
Experts fear the vaccine-preventable virus has regained a foothold, and the United States may soon follow Canada in losing the achievement of having eliminated the disease. That evaluation comes 1 year after the West Texas measles outbreak began. Scientists are investigating whether a number of U.S. outbreaks may be linked. Regardless of the U.S. status, doctors say the United States of America has a measles problem. Jason Walker reporting.
A former flight attendant for a Canadian Airlines in trouble for allegedly posing as a commercial pilot and as a current flight attendant to get hundreds of free flights from U.S. Airlines. Authorities say 33-year-old Dallas Horarnik of Toronto pleaded not guilty following his extradition. More on these stories, townhall.com.
It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Good morning, and welcome to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. We are indeed broadcasting from Nashville, Tennessee. It's time now for the Morning Rundown, brought to you every day at this time by our friends at the Glock Store. The Glock Store located just a few miles from the airport right here in Nashville, Tennessee. So here we go. Here's the morning rundown for Wednesday, January 21st, 2026. Donald Trump is in Davos, Switzerland right now, and he has just concluded a masterclass in Who's Your Daddy to all the weak, whiny European leaders. And oh, by the way, here's why you need to send Greenland to us. Yeah, he said, I'm not going to take it militarily, but you need to give it to us. We need to buy it. Number 2, investigations and likely prosecutions for the Minnesota fraud and the church invasions and the ICE resistance and impeding are stepping up. If all goes well, Phil Klein, legal expert and former attorney general in Kansas, will talk to us about that in our next segment. Number 3, Elon Musk. By the way, he's got an estimated net worth right now of $800 billion with a B. He's offering $6 million to Memphis, Tennessee schools to help improve their infrastructure. Will they take it? We'll see. We'll talk with Tom Pappert at the bottom of this hour about that. Number 4, Tennessee construction firms say they've lost workers because of the illegal immigration crackdown. Huh. We'll find out more from Tom Pappert about that. Number 5, Sean Hannity did something stupid last night. Really stupid. We'll talk with Tom Pappert about that in our last segment of the first hour. What stupid thing did Sean Hannity do? Number 6, Donald Trump apparently is signing an executive order on housing today. We'll be joined in hour 2 to discuss that by Kaz Najarian, who's the CEO of a company called Open Door. Number 7, Sean Farash will join us in hour 3. Sean, of course, the greatest Trump impersonator in the world. Lots to talk about with Sean. Greenland, the craziness in Minnesota, the European weak and whiny leaders in Davos, Switzerland. And we just can't resist it. We might talk a little NFL football and the national championship game Indiana University won 27-21. So number 8. Speaking of the NFL, former NFL sideline reporter Michelle Tafoya has announced that she's running as a Republican for the United States Senate in Minnesota. Now, why might she have a chance? Well, she might have a chance because she's very, quote, pro-choice, which I think she's a pro-choice Republican, which might fit the Minnesota voters more than a pro-life Republican. So there you go. That's the morning rundown for Wednesday, January 21st, 2026, brought to you by our friends at the Glock Store. By the way, I'm hearing rumors that the Glock Store might have a little bit of celebration for us for our 9th anniversary of the Tennessee Star, which is coming up. We'll be celebrating that Friday, February 6th. How about that? Of 2026. Now, this is when I talk about my friend Lenny McGill and his incredible Glock Store. For years, you've been hearing me talk about how the Glock Store is everything Glock. Well, of course, that's why Lenny calls it the Glock Store, glockstore.com. Have you heard about the latest Glocks, the Gen 6? I'm going to go really out on a limb here. Gen 6, Generation 6, right? Lenny's heard about it. He tells me the new Gen 6 Glocks have a new optic system, RTF6 texturing, an enlarged beaver tail, flat face trigger guard undercut, and an integrated thumb rest, also known as the gas pedal. Now, I don't know exactly what all those things do, but Lenny sure does. In fact, Lenny tells me the Gen 6 Glocks are definitely the most refined Glocks ever produced. And as you might expect, the Glock Store has already received their first shipment of Gen 6 G17s, G19s, and G45s, and they were literally gone before they even arrived at the warehouse. That's because the Glock Store is letting you pre-order these new Glocks, so you'll be the first one to get your hands on it. And as a thank you for your pre-order, you'll get an extra magazine when you receive your new Gen 6 Glock. Here's what you do. Go to glockstore.com, click on the Gen 6 tab at the top of the website, place your pre-order for the Glock or Glocks of your choice. When they ship your new Glock to the FFL of your choice, or you pick it up at the Glock Store retail showroom here in Nashville, the Glock Store will throw in an extra magazine. Now, this is a limited offer only for pre-orders and only from my friends at the Glock Store, the #1 source for Glock parts, accessories, and the new Gen 6 Glocks. Visit glockstore.com today. Tell them Michael Patrick Leahy sent you. I promise you'll be glad you went there. Okay, so there you go. Donald Trump was tearing it up today. I mean, he just finished his speech. It was a long speech. I think it was like 45 minutes. And he just torched the whiny European leaders. And, well, let's play this out. Let's try to talk this. Clip 22.
Governments very foolishly followed, turning their backs on everything that makes nations rich and powerful and strong. And there's so much potential in so many nations. The result was record budget and trade deficits and a growing sovereign deficit driven by the largest wave of mass migration in human history. We've never seen anything like it. Quite frankly, many parts of our world are being destroyed before our very eyes, and the leaders don't even understand what's happening. And the ones that do understand aren't doing anything about it. Virtually all of the so-called experts predicted my plans to end this failed model would trigger a global recession and runaway inflation. But we have proven them wrong. It's actually just the opposite. In 1 year, our agenda has produced a transformation like America has not seen in over 100 years.
Yeah, and he was just taking it to them. He also went in. We've got a clip. We didn't play this one yet, but we'll play it a little bit later. Mark Carney was whining and complaining. He said, we want more Chinese involvement. And so he's just, bending the knee to the Chi-Com commies, right? But he also had said, well, we absolutely oppose and we'll have military forces to stop Trump's takeover of Greenland. Trump really, really had a good analysis of why we should take over Greenland. But then he went in and he just verbally nuked Mark Carney. Clip 23.
All we want from Denmark for national and international security and to keep our very energetic and dangerous potential enemies at bay is this land on which we're going to build the greatest golden dome ever built. We're building a golden dome that's going to, just by its very nature, going to be defending Canada. Canada gets a lot of freebies from us, by the way. They should be grateful also, but they're not. I watched your Prime Minister yesterday. He wasn't so grateful. But they should be grateful to us. Canada lives because of the United States. Remember that, Mark, the next time you make your statements. What we did for Israel was amazing, but that's nothing compared to what we have planned for the United States, Canada, and the rest of the world. We are going to build a dome like no other. We did it for Israel.
Okay, so, Trump is just, obliterating the weak and whiny leaders who are kind of the old order, the European leaders. He had earlier said, well, you guys are only stupid people do windmills because they lose for energy, because they lose money. The only smart people in the windmill business are the people in China who are selling it to the stupid people who are putting up windmills. This guy was unrelenting. Not only was he unrelenting, he was right on point. All right, when we come back, if all goes well, our good friend Phil Klein will be talking about the FACE Act and potential prosecutions for those church invasions. Back after this.
Attorney General Miyares and John Fredericks talk about skill games.
They're unregulated slot machines.
They pop up in 7-Elevens in every corner of Virginia.
The General Assembly has spoken on this.
Skill games.
These things are illegal.
It's the Wild Wild West. Fights break out. Robberies increase.
Skill games.
They prey on the less fortunate.
I say it's a tax on the poor.
They're breaking the law.
My job is to enforce the law. These machines are not allowed.
Enforce the law and get them out of there.
When you see skill games, call the local sheriff.
These things are illegal.
Paid for by Churchill Downs.
The math is simple. Every dollar we waste on unnecessary federal supervision is a dollar we can't use to fight violent crime. The Safer Supervision Act cuts bureaucratic waste and frees up law enforcement resources to protect families from serious threats. Law enforcement officers across the country and Republicans in Congress agree this is a smarter way to improve public safety. Stop the waste, protect our communities, fix federal supervision. Visit safersupervision.com to help. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
Lifestyles Unlimited is a real estate education group that gives you the roadmap and resources to start building income through real estate. You'll learn practical strategies for using investment properties to create extra income and make informed decisions, one step at a time. Join today for just $297. That's a 60% savings off the regular price of our real estate education program. Text RADIO to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
Is your pet ready for some pawsome fun? At Creekside Pet Hotel in Kennesaw, every day is a tail-wagging adventure. Whether they're romping with friends in day camp, enjoying a staycation in our cozy boarding, or getting pampered in our luxury spa, we make sure every furry guest gets the royal treatment. Happy pets, wagging tails, and the best care. What more could they ask for? Book your pet's perfect getaway today at creeksidepethotel.com or give us a call at 770-422-4700.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
I'm Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of Glockstore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported the Second Amendment rights of free men and women to protect themselves and their families with firearms. We offer the very best in both selection and prices on Glock handguns, custom Glocks, Glock magazines, and high-performance shooting accessories at Glockstore.com. We also have the finest retail showroom and our Shoot 270 shoot rooms right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Come visit us at Glockstore.com, and you'll be glad you did.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
We are joined right now on our Zoom newsmaker line by one of the greatest legal scholars in the country, former Attorney General for the state of Kansas, Professor of Law at Liberty University, Phil Klein. Phil, help us unravel this. I was shocked on Sunday to see a group of 60 radicals invade a church and stop and obstruct a church service at City's Church, a Southern Baptist Convention-related affiliated church in St. Paul, Minnesota. Are those people who disrupted that church service likely to face any criminal charges? And if so, what would those charges be?
Well, they should, specifically locally. You know, that's certainly trespass. I haven't seen all the video. I don't know if there was a threat of violence, but that could be assault. Additionally, Minnesota has some laws that relate to interruption of worship services and prohibiting that are misdemeanors. So forcing your way onto private property and refusing to leave is a crime in America. And it's a crime in which those who engage in it should face enforcement. And that's what Minnesota officials ought to do.
They're not going to do that. You know that. The Hennepin County District Attorney, one of his employees apparently was in there. Okay. So he's not going to do that.
I understand that. And that's some of the breakdown that's occurring in America because of this radicalization of the Democratic Party, particularly, where it's adhering to its funding source, a lot of it foreign, which has captured that party's ideology. Mm-hmm. It's not reflective of America, but it's captured the Democratic Party. And that's a whole nother discussion, Mike, I'd like to talk to you about why we continue to lose these battles, and it's because we have not engaged at the local level like the Democratic Party has and these foreign billionaires who are playing in American politics. Mm-hmm. So the Justice Department is talking about stepping in. Harmeet Dillon has made some comments in that regard, and the FACE Act could be applied, and depending on the breadth of it, also the KKK Act.
By the way, let me just add, the FACE Act passed by a Democratic Congress, signed by a Democrat president, Bill Clinton, in 1994, it's called the Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act. It criminalizes using force, threats, or physical obstruction to block access to reproductive health services or places of worship, right?
Yes. That. And here, of course, you've got places of worship. Now, there was a lot of criticism of the Biden administration's enforcement of the FACE Act because, one, they did so stretching the definition of what blockade means and obstructing access. And secondly, they only focused on pro-lifers when there were lots of acts of violence against pro-life organizations that were giving crisis counseling to women, and there were no enforcement actions there. So we've got an issue in America relating to full and free and equally applicable enforcement of the law, and we've got an issue as it relates to the definitions of words. Because of the deconstruction of the moral construct of our nation, words can mean whatever they want to mean to a person in power, and the Biden administration was willing to do that. But here you've got a serious look at whether this was a coordinated effort, and I bet it was, and I bet it was funded by NGO organizations who are training these folks to essentially violate the law. And that is deeply concerning and ought to be looked into.
I think you're right. By the way, 23 pro-life activists convicted by a jury and prosecuted by the Biden administration. Many of them were here in Tennessee. They were praying outside an abortion clinic in Mount Juliet, Tennessee. Arrested, convicted. They were pardoned in March of this year by Donald Trump. But the standard that was used to convict them, I think, was much lower than the standard that would be applied to this invasion of the church in St. Paul. What do you think about that thought, Bill?
Well, again, that's the stretching of the law. And I'd have to go back and look at the actual jury instructions from the judge to the jury. But this is something that's important to keep in mind. And I have problems with the FACE Act. I have problems with Congress trying to create these zones of safety that interfere with actions on public property.
I understand
if you come onto private property, that's a crime.
I understand that you have a problem with the FACE Act, but it is a statute, and its constitutionality has not been challenged, right?
Right. And I think if it's applied to invasion of private property, it will withhold under constitutional scrutiny. But let me say this as it relates to my concerns about the FACE Act. It's the stretch, it's the redefinition of words to include peaceful conduct on public property. That is the primary problem with the FACE Act.
Got it.
So if somebody comes into my home and disrupts the serenity of my home to make a political statement, that's not free speech. That's invading private property. That's called trespass. And so there's a profound difference there where they're organizing people to trespass on others' property. Certainly, there is action that should be taken to enforce the law that protects our ability to, Mondami would say we have no private property, but would protect our ability to express ourselves in the manner that we want to on our private property.
The state and local government in Minnesota, the governor, the attorney general, the mayor of St. Paul, the mayor of Minneapolis, are defending this invasion of the church, a violation of the freedom of religion in the First Amendment, as a First Amendment right of these invaders. I think the First Amendment says you've got the right to peaceably assemble, not to invade private property. My question to you, though, about this, Phil, is are we seeing the utter rejection of 300 years of Anglo-American rule of law by the state of Minnesota right now?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't think that their interpretation would remain the same if a group gathered, broke into their homes, and started screaming at them at the dinner table about how their policies are flawed and harming America. I just saw a video of a group of activists attacking people that they believed were conservative who were stopped at a stoplight in Minneapolis. It was filmed. Journalists were there. Yet I'm not hearing any law enforcement action against those who forcibly opened the doors of the car and started kicking the people inside.
If you're a left-wing activist and you're going after a conservative in Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota, you can break the law and you could hurt a conservative and they will do nothing about it, it seems to me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then when a conservative speaks about the outrage, then they say the speech is hate speech and ought to be prosecuted.
But how can we continue like this?
We can't.
Yeah.
This is a Marxist ideology. The flawed ideology cannot tolerate dissent or difference of opinion because it's built upon a lie. It's too fragile in its identity. It has to silence opposition, and it has to use force and coercion to get compliance. That's what you're seeing in the far-left Democratic Party. And Michael, it's there because of its funding base. That's not America. That's really not America. You see a bird's eye view of many of these protests, and the line of protesters is not that long. This isn't America expressing outrage. This is manufactured outrage by foreign billionaires flowing money through nonprofits to train people to tribalize America and turn us against ourselves.
That's exactly.
And that's what we have to be looking at.
How do we stop that?
Well, there's several things that can be done, and one of them is Donald Trump gets in a room with some people, the billionaires in America, and says, look, you're going to stop funding projects, you're going to fund vision and talent, it's not going to be about a campaign or who is the next president, my family's out of it, all of these candidates are out of it, we're going to get people in a room for the effort of reclaiming America. That's what the left did clear back in 2004. And they've been doing it ever since, and it was to degrade and harm America. We just need to model their effort because Americans are with us. But Michael, in all these campaigns, one other point on this. What you will see is Republicans. They will be speaking about message, they'll be speaking about TV, they'll be speaking about radio, they'll be speaking about mass mailings. While Democrats, through these NGOs, are on the doorstep. They're on the front porch turning out the vote and lying and convincing people to vote for their candidates. Republicans have no ground game. And the reason is Republican politics is captured by the consulting class, and they haven't figured out how to make money on hiring somebody to go to door to door.
Very good point.
The Democrats are doing it. We're not.
Your analysis and your suggested solution are on point. We're just going to have to make it happen, and we got a lot of work to do, Phil. Thanks so much for joining us today. Outstanding analysis. Tom Papper joins us after this.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
It's simple. No worker should ever be forced to pay money to a union boss just to get or keep a job. That's why hardworking Virginians overwhelmingly support Right to Work and agree that forced unionism is wrong. Unfortunately, Right to Work is under threat from radical state legislators who seek to overturn Right to Work and grant union bosses the power to have workers fired for refusing to pay union dues. Studies show that if they succeed in repealing Virginia's Right to Work law, it would cost the Commonwealth over 200,000 jobs. That's why it's vital to tell your legislators and Governor Abigail Spanberger to defend Right to Work in Virginia. With the General Assembly now in session, it's vital you make your voice heard today. Go to VirginiaRightToWork.com, and demand your legislators and Governor Spanberger oppose forced unionism and protect right to work. Defend freedom and Virginia jobs today. Sign your petition at VirginiaRightToWork.com, paid for by the National Right to Work Committee.
When you're learning something new, experience matters. At Lifestyles Unlimited, we've spent over 30 years teaching people how real estate investing works and how to build income with a clear, step-by-step strategy. Our program is designed to help you learn what to do, why it works, and how to take action at your own pace. Join today for just $297, a 60% savings off the regular price. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
Is your pet ready for some pawsome fun? At Creekside Pet Hotel in Kennesaw, every day is a tail-wagging adventure. Whether they're romping with friends in day camp, enjoying a staycation in our cozy boarding, or getting pampered in our luxury spa, we make sure every furry guest gets the royal treatment. Happy pets, wagging tails, and the best care. What more could they ask for? Book your pet's perfect getaway today at CreeksidePetHotel.com or give us a call at 770-422-4700.
My fellow Americans, I have to tell you about my good friends at D.T. McCall & Sons. They have furniture and appliances and a lot more. They've been family-owned in Middle Tennessee for over 100 years, and they're not going to rip you off. No hidden charges, no delivery charges, no charges for all of the crazy things. These are sick people at the lumber yards. These are very sick people. They charge you for cords and hoses and haul off. They charge you for all of these things. They call them hidden charges. It's the type of surprise that you don't want to see. It's like an October surprise, but it's worse. D.T. McCall & Sons, they're not going to do that. They're great people. They're going to give you a great deal. With locations in Lebanon, Carthage, Lafayette, Cookeville, and Franklin, D.T. McCall & Sons will give you the deal of your life. Check them out today or go to dtmccalls.com.
Impersonator not endorsed by Donald Trump.
Hey there, it's Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of GlockStore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported our Second Amendment rights with GlockStore.com, the world's #1 source for Glock handguns, parts, and accessories. I also support accurate, unbiased journalism like The Michael Patrick Leahy Show. His team broke the Kilmar Abrego Garcia traffic stop and was the first to obtain that video. Independent journalism at its finest. Visit us at GlockStore.com, listen to Michael Patrick Leahy, and make America great again.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Well, our lead political reporter, Tom Pappert, has a great story at Tennessee Star, TennesseeStar.com. And it has to do with a couple of Tennessee-related issues. First, it's Elon Musk and the Memphis schools. Now, Elon Musk is building a data center in Memphis, and the local leftists are all kind of whining and complaining about it. Justin Pearson, who's one of the Tennessee Three, was there whining and complaining about it. And, well, Elon Musk has been doing an awful lot of great things down in Memphis. By the way, did you see this? Interesting fellow. Do you know what his net worth is apparently right now? $800 billion. I think that's the highest net worth anybody have. Now, having said that, how much of that's in cash? How much of that's in stock in Tesla or SpaceX or all those? I don't know. $800 billion. If you've got $800 billion, there's a lot of stuff you can do, right? So here's the story by Tom. Just go to TennesseeStar.com, TennesseeStar.com. Apparently he's got a foundation. The headline is, Musk Foundation offers $6 million donation to fund repairs, support students at Memphis schools. All right. And by the way, when you look at any standard of proficiency in reading, writing, and mathematics, the Memphis schools, which are part of the Memphis Shelby County school system, it's the worst in the state of Tennessee by far. I mean, the proficiency levels, even for basic reading, writing, arithmetic, for, they measure this, third grade, fifth grade, eighth grade, it's all below 30%, some 20%. And a lot of kids graduate from Memphis public schools. They can't read, they can't write. And clearly the problem is you can't think either. Here's the story by Tom. Memphis Shelby County Schools on Tuesday discussed whether to accept a $6 million donation from the Musk Foundation, the philanthropic effort by billionaire Elon Musk that would, fund repairs at 3 Memphis elementary schools while supporting the district students. Okay. The materials prepared ahead of the meeting appear to reveal the bulk of the $6 million will be spent on upgrades to the Hawkins Mill Elementary School, West Side Elementary School, and Whitney Elementary, which were previously proposed as schools to receive students from deteriorating buildings. Now, think about that. The buildings are all just going down the tubes. Tom Pappert has more on our newsmaker line. Tom, how you doing?
Doing well, Michael. Good morning.
Good. So tell us more about this particular story.
Well, Michael, it's very interesting. This would be the second major donation from Elon Musk, his nonprofit or one of his other companies, to Memphis Shelby County Schools. $6 million, about $300,000 goes to supporting students, while the rest goes to rebuilding and doing repairs at 3 elementary schools. Last night, the Memphis Shelby County School Board created a memorandum of understanding. And now it will be an interesting week as we wait 7 days to find out whether the far left agitators in Memphis managed to ruin this for the children of the city by blocking the school board members or convincing them to reverse their schedule on this. But it seems as though in 7 days, the Memphis Shelby County School District and the students of these 3 elementary schools will benefit from a $6 million cash injection to do things like keep the roofs over their head.
Now, did the board unanimously vote on this memorandum of understanding? And the process is there's a 7-day public comment period, I guess, before a final vote?
Yes, that is my understanding. It was a unanimous vote. They have a memorandum of understanding. That is the process that is required for any gift over $15,000. And as you might imagine, $6 million, just a little bit north of that sum. So if the prior process is any indication, there is a week where such a donation is brought to the board. The board determines whether or not it's something they want to pursue. And then in 7 days, after hearing from their constituents and reading over the proposal, which is like a 4-slide PowerPoint, by the way, they determine whether or not this memorandum of understanding is going to be accepted on both sides at the following school board meeting, which will happen again in, I guess, 6 days from today.
So who's going to oppose this? Justin Pearson, I imagine.
I if the last one is any indication, they will not be brave enough to oppose it in person. Remember, there have already been 3 or 4 high schools in Memphis that are benefiting from Musk's philanthropy. But so I would not be surprised at all to see the usual suspects, the Memphis 350 people, the Tennessee Lookout. Yeah. I think we'll probably see some op-eds in the next 7 days warning Memphis about the dangers of having well-funded and maintained schools.
So the Musk Foundation, I guess he's the only donor. I don't know how much money he's put into it, but probably a lot. Apparently it offers grants to support advocacy and research of renewable energy, space exploration, pediatrics, science and engineering education, and the development of safe artificial intelligence to benefit humanity. Huh. Oh, this is interesting. Tom, I just went to your story, and I clicked on mustfoundation.org. You know what?
It's one page.
Listen, it is talk about minimalism. It's black and white, and it just says Musk Foundation grants are made in support of all these 5 things. That's it. That's all. There's no about us. There's nothing. That's hilarious.
And how refreshing is that? Imagine when I was looking up the story yesterday, I'm researching, what is this Musk Foundation? He's a rich guy. All rich guys have foundation. Let's go look at there's usually like a $2 million website that they're wasting their money on, and they pay consultants, and there's a wonderful about me. They pay copywriters to talk about all their board members. There's a grant process. No, not Elon Musk. He does everything just a little bit differently, doesn't he? 5 lines, 1 page, no formatting, black and white. When you pull it up on your computer, it's in the top left part of the screen where all the text bunches up.
Listen to this, Tom. It was founded in 2020. It has an IRS Form 990. The president and director is Elon Musk. It has $474 million in total assets right now.
Wow.
And he's been
They're not wasting it on a website.
They're not wasting it on a website. And the amount of money, total giving has gone from like $1 million in 2020, $120 million in 2021, up in 23, over 470 million bucks in giving. Some of the money's gone to Austin Habitat for Humanity, Cameron County Education Initiative, just interesting kind of things. I didn't even know that old Elon had of course for him, he's worth $800 billion, right? So supposedly. What a story. Hey, before we go on, let's go to the other story here. I think they'll take the money, don't you think?
Oh, I think they'd be fools not to.
Yeah. Okay. So, let's go on to the other story you had about Tennessee construction firms are saying we can't find enough workers now. Give us those details.
Well, it's a very good story, and it's something that we've all been wondering about, and that is what is going on when it comes to DHS and ICE and workplace job site enforcement against illegal immigrations. We all remember last year, midway through the year, there was some drama about whether or not these raids would happen at farms. And what was reported, at least, was that the Trump administration was backing off. But we did not hear about other industries that, frankly, let's face it, are known to have a problem with employing illegal immigrants. One of those is, of course, construction. And earlier this month, a construction lobbying group came out, a union, I suppose, came out with a study. All 50 states talking to construction companies from those states. And in Tennessee, they found that 9% of construction companies have experienced a job site workplace enforcement operation from ICE in the past 6 months. But the numbers get even bigger than that. It goes up to 32% of Tennessee construction companies have either lost employees directly or their subcontractors have lost employees because they're afraid or have reported confirmations that immigration enforcement activity is coming to their area. So whenever you see people, maybe on X.com, complaining that the Trump administration is not doing enough, just know that what the Trump administration is doing, and by the way, these numbers bear out across the nation, is causing 1/3 of construction companies across this nation to have serious problems with their workforce. And by the way, they should. If they're hiring illegal immigrants, I have no sympathy. Go hire a high school kid and help him get his first rung on the ladder.
Yeah. But I think what the construction firms say is, look, we got a pressure to do the job. We bid low on it. We got to get it done, and I can only afford these illegal immigrants. That's their justification. I think in the long term, that's pretty weak. Your thoughts, Tom Pappert?
Oh, it's absolutely weak. I mean, I hate to give a personal anecdote, but my stepfather owned a landscaping business in the 1990s and was the last person in town not to hire illegal immigrants. And what his sort of wisdom on this, I think it rings true, which is if everybody does it, then it becomes an expectation.
Boom.
But these are decisions made by American business leaders.
Hey, Tom, when we come back, Sean Hannity did something stupid last night. We will talk about that after the break.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cell's Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
Did you ever stop and think, why do the wealthy pay less taxes than we do? One reason, they take full advantage of the IRS tax code. Today's tax code is over 2 million pages. Who can read that? Remember the 2016 debate with Hillary Clinton? When asked why he doesn't pay more taxes, President Trump had the perfect answer. He said, if you don't like the current tax code, change it. I follow the very laws that you wrote. That's where Julio Gonzalez and his company, Tax Engineered Services, comes in. Julio's team looks at your taxes after they're done, but before you file them with the IRS. He doesn't get between you and your accountant. He reviews your taxes, makes his recommendations, and only gets 5 to 10% of what he saved you. No money up front, no cost. It's tax literacy for MAGA. He also sees what grants you may qualify for. For more information, text ETS to the number 26786. That's ETS to 26786. Text now.
For years, the Europeans have underestimated President Trump time after time. But at every turn, he's been right. On energy, on NATO, on foreign free riding. It's time they pay up. That's why he's cracking down on foreign countries that don't pay their fair share for American medicines, renegotiating trade deals for the prescription drugs we invent. President Trump is ending the foreign freeloading, making Europe pay their fair share.
Paid for by Americans for limited government.
The Cats and Cosby Show.
It's a common sense recap of the big stories.
It's not that all Somalis are criminal. It's just that 90% of these crimes are being committed by Somali Americans. And if you came to this country and you took advantage of the Americans' generosity, you committed fraud, and you refused to assimilate, you know what? I got 4 words for you. Get the hell out.
Cats and Cosby, 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the John Fredericks Media Network.
The book needs to be thrown at these people.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Tom Peppert, I was going to call this segment Sean Hannity is an idiot. But he's not an idiot. But he did something stupid last night.
He's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy. And he's not an idiot. But he did something really stupid last night. And what he did was he elevated an irrelevant left-wing maniac who just is, a narcissistic guy who's always looking for some national public, national visibility. And then we're talking about Justin Jones, who, we've known since 2018. He's been involved in all sorts of bizarre behavior. He's a state representative from Nashville, and he's in the minority. There's a supermajority of Republicans in the state house. I think it's like 75, 24, and 24 members are Democrats. But even the Democrats can't stand him. They cannot stand him because he's nothing but a walking press release. So Sean Hannity, somebody at Sean Hannity just did a really stupid thing, and Sean Hannity did a stupid thing by having him on last night on his show for 7 minutes. And we're not going to play the clip because it was just cringeworthy, and it didn't do anything to advance the cause of liberty or freedom or immigration control. Hannity, instead of talking about the great, fabulous immigration package that the Tennessee General Assembly Republican leadership brought in, they brought in this irrelevant left-wing loser, and it was so cringeworthy. They were talking over each other for 7 minutes. All they did was get clicks. It was, I think, what's your take? My My call here is Sean Hannity, buddy. You did a really stupid thing last night by elevating a left-wing loser. Your thoughts, Tom Pappert? Am I being too hard on old Sean?
No, I don't think so. I think that you're being perhaps not even harsh enough, because what we saw last night, I watched it this morning. I had to watch it on 2x speed because it was so hard to get through. It's Sean Hannity opens up the segment and he says, "You are a state representative from Tennessee, right?" And he pauses and Justin Jones starts yapping, and he does not stop for 5 minutes, and you can't hear either person. It's one of these classic cable news interviews where the host and the guest are just screaming at the top of their lungs. When I used to watch news every night, which I don't because I'm a young person, I would go up and get a snack during these segments because they're unintelligible. There was absolutely nothing of value gained for either side or the viewer. And so not only was it a crazy subject to bring up, where Sean Hannity, instead of talking about the positive side of immigration, where the White House and Tennessee lawmakers are working together to make this state with a national model for other states, other Republican and conservative states to follow. No, he wants to have a shouting match with Justin Jones. But beyond even just the absurdity of the topic selection, where like Sean Hannity is going to talk this Democrat, this far left Democrat, out of his political views in 5 minutes. Aside from even that, it was an archaic form of media that I think in 2026, when so many people are familiar with podcasts, with a nice radio interview where you can actually express yourself and have an intelligent conversation, I think that's why cable as a whole, the medium, is dying. Fox News is still doing the best, but you're talking about a network that used to get like 6 million views. I think now the entire media infrastructure, the entire community, all of the websites celebrate when Fox News cracks 3 million views. It's a dying industry that is afraid to change and thinks that if you get a young guy, I guess, like Justin Jones, then that will get young people to watch the network. It was sad. It was sad, and it really reminded me why I'm glad I've never paid for cable as an adult.
Yeah, it was really sad. And Sean, he brought in this Thanidar character who's a guy from India who is an anti-ICE guy, and they were kind of yelling back and forth at each other before, but it was not as that was pretty cringeworthy. This was absolute peak cringeworthy. I mean, just yelling over each other. I can't imagine that anybody really stuck around for the full 7 minutes of it, because nothing was accomplished. But Sean Hannity and your producers, this was so predictable that this would be how this would play out. Why on earth did you waste 7 minutes of airtime on your program on this cringeworthy episode, example of archaic, long gone, phony dialogue?
Well, and by the way, there's not only just a crazy style, but there's better, even crazy leftists in the state of Tennessee that you could interview. Justin Jones is probably going to be in that state house seat until he decides to retire and take his own podcast position. But there's another Justin. Justin Pearson is running for Congress. He's trying to unseat a Jewish member of Congress by talking about Palestine and Gaza and, the genocide. That would be an interesting interview. There's Afton Bain, who was just challenging Matt Van Ups to go to the U.S. House last year, just recently said that she's not going to do it again. She's the one, not Justin Jones, and I'm not defending the guy, believe me, but it was Afton Bain who was tailing ICE vehicles and bragging about bullying ICE in a video posted to social media last year. That seems a lot like what we saw Renee Good do in Minneapolis. These are all more interesting subjects to interview, but instead he forced his audience, all those poor people. I have relatives who just sit and watch Sean Hannity every night. He forced them to listen to yelling and screaming with nothing intelligible for 5 minutes. And it's just going to, as you said, raise the profile of the least interesting and least upwardly mobile one of these Democrats in Tennessee.
And the other thing is, I have a policy here. I don't interview idiots from the left because there's nothing to be gained from it. I mean, you know what they're going to say. They're idiots, and they hate America, and so why give them a profile? That's been our strategy, and I think it's worked pretty well. Sean Hannity, buddy, you did a stupid thing last night. Don't do it again. Please, please, don't be so cringeworthy. Your final thoughts, Tom Pappert.
You know, the thought occurred to me, Michael, that this is how another former Fox News host really made himself famous, and that is Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
Where he would have these one-on-one spars with leftists and make them look really dumb. Well, I would just ask the entire world, our audience, the Fox News executives, and Sean Hannity to look back over the last 10 years and ask how that worked out for everybody.
It didn't work out
well. Is making leftists look dumb a good policy to make somebody famous on?
They just are dumb. You don't have to make them look dumb. Tom Pappert, thanks so much for that.
Thank you, Michael. Always a pleasure.
All right. Hey, Kosnajadian with Open Doors is going to talk to us about apparently a new executive order on housing is going to drop in just a minute. Back after this.
Ponder this. Most of us are familiar with social media influencers. You know, people that claim expertise on some probably irrelevant topic. Many hours are wasted following people online who do not add an ounce of value to our lives. There is only one influencer who matters, and you should be following him and his messages every day. He holds the keys to our peace. He shows us how to live lives of meaning. He is there to help us carry our daily crosses. He is Jesus Christ, and he is the influencer extraordinaire. Are you one of his followers? Or are you wasting time with useless information that will not bring peace and love to your life? Ask the Lord each day to provide you with spiritual influence that will change your life forever. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am passionately Catholic.
Do you think workers in Virginia should be forced to pay union dues and fees just to get or keep a job? For 80% of Virginians, the answer is no. That's why Virginia's right-to-work law is so popular. Unfortunately, special interest lobbyists in Richmond are seeking to repeal right-to-work in Virginia. With the General Assembly back, it is vital to tell your legislators and Governor Abigail Spanberger to oppose forced unionism and protect right-to-work in Virginia. Sign your petition today at virginiarighttowork.com. That's virginiarighttowork.com. The National Right to Work Committee paid for this ad.
John Fredericks loves his radio and TV audience, but did you know how to follow the Godzilla of Truth wherever you go? Download the John Fredericks Radio Show app to listen live nationwide. For the daily chit-chat, Trucking the Truth, download the Getter app and join the morning fun on Getter Live from 6 to 10 a.m. Follow John Fredericks on Getter, Truth Social, or Twitter at JF Radio Show.
This is WJFN, Goochland, Bonaire, Chester, and WJFV, Portsmouth.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. Although he refers to Greenland as our territory, President Trump has told the World Economic Forum that he will not resort to force to acquire the Arctic island. The president is also touting the results of his U.S. economic revival strategy. He says it does not rely heavily on government spending.
Virtually all of the so-called experts predicted my plans to end this failed model would trigger a global recession and runaway inflation. But we have proven them wrong. It's actually just the opposite. In 1 year, our agenda has produced a transformation like America has not seen in over 100 years.
While ruling out military intervention, Mr. Trump says he does want to get Greenland, including right, title, and ownership. Seeking control of the island is, quoting the president, a very small ask compared to what we have given them for many, many decades. From the Great Lakes to the Northeast, the Mid-Atlantic and points south, the weather looking a bit dicey into the coming weekend.
The National Weather Service warned of great swaths of heavy snow, sleet, and treacherous freezing rains starting Friday in much of the nation's midsection and then shifting toward the East Coast through Sunday. Temperatures will be slow to warm in many areas, meaning ice that forms on roads and sidewalks might stick around, forecasters say. The exact timing of the approaching storm and where it's headed remained uncertain. Keith Peters, Washington.
Federal prosecutors have reportedly served a half-dozen grand jury subpoenas to Minnesota officials, including Governor Tim Walz, part of an investigation into whether they have obstructed or impeded the enforcement of federal immigration law. The subpoenas, which seek records, are also sent to the offices of State Attorney General Keith Ellison, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, and St. Paul Mayor Coley Herb. Stocks higher on Wall Street. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody loves the season of giving, but now the season of paying for it is upon us. That not-so-wonderful time of the year when millions of Americans open their credit card statements, stare in horror at the balance, and resolve then and there to find new ways to save money. If you're among those Americans, why not start by cutting your wireless bill in half right now with Pure Talk's Saver Plan? It's easy. You'll get unlimited talk, text, and 3 gigs of high-speed data on a super-fast, nationwide 5G network for just $20 a month. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Ho, ho, ho. And if you're active or former military or a first responder, you'll save an additional 20% every single month. That's pound 250. Say Mike Rowe for the gift that keeps on saving from America's wireless company, Pure Talk.
In Japan, the sentence is life in prison for a 45-year-old man who admitted assassinating a former Japanese leader.
The assassination of Shinzo Abe, Japan's longest-serving prime minister, shocked this nation, a country with virtually no gun crimes because it has very, very strict gun ownership rules. And the sentencing of the man who killed him, Tetsuya Yamagami, has also captured the nation's attention and imagination. Since the beginning of this trial, Yamagami himself pleaded guilty for the killing of Shinzo Abe back in 2022 when he approached him and shot him at close range with a homemade gun.
The BBC's Shaima Halil. A South Korean court has ruled the 2024 imposition of martial law by then-President Yoon Suk-yeol constituted an act of rebellion. The court sentencing his prime minister to 23 years in prison for his role in the scheme. Townhall.com. New Jersey's new governor is not abandoning the anti-Trump rhetoric of her campaign.
Hi, Mikey Sherrill.
Cheryl was in Congress for 4 years, was a Navy helicopter pilot, and is just the second woman to lead New Jersey. She spoke about her state's role in the Revolutionary War.
This election proved that the people of New Jersey recognize the parallels, that we see a president illegally usurping power.
Cheryl adopted a defiant tone against the Trump administration. Cheryl replaces fellow Democrat Phil Murphy, marking the first time in more than 6 decades a political party has controlled the New Jersey governor's office for 3 straight terms. I'm Ed Donahue.
President Trump is celebrating completion of the first year of his second term, citing his role in settling 8 wars, reviving the U.S. economy, and securing the border against an overwhelming flood of deadly drugs and illegal immigrants. More on these stories at townhall.com.
It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back. We are joined on our Zoom newsmaker line right now by Kaz Najetian, who is the CEO of Open Door. Welcome, Kaz.
Thanks for having me, Michael.
Well, Kaz, you have quite a story. We got to get to your personal story first. You were born in Iran, is that right?
I was. I left Iran when I was 12 years old, in a bit of a hurry.
That's what I hear. I heard you were arrested when you were 11 years old there.
I was wearing a T-shirt that said, "Live free or die." And the governor of Iran is very happy to make that choice for you. So I got myself a little bit of trouble, and my parents thought it best if we leave the country relatively quickly.
What year was that?
95.
95. So you're 11 years old. You're wearing the motto of the state of New Hampshire here in the United States. Live free. Where did you get the T-shirt?
I like to say finding trouble runs in my family. I was a kid. I didn't have money to buy a T-shirt. I also didn't speak English. So my parents must have bought a T-shirt for me. I don't know if they knew what it said. But look, divine providence happens for a reason, and I believe, most public company CEOs are uncomfortable talking about this, but I believe God plays an active hand in our lives. And a kid that didn't speak a word of English, wearing a T-shirt that he didn't buy, leading him to come to Free World, worked out well for me.
So let's talk. What city were you in? Did your folks live in? Did you live in?
Tehran, the
Tehran.
capital.
Okay, so tell us about the day. I mean, you're there. How, were you arrested just for wearing it? Did they knock on the door at your house?
You
And
know, the
who?
morality police used to do these raids. They would pick people up and put you in buses and take you down to police station, where you would be quickly sentenced, and they would very frequently whip you with lashes.
What time of
And
day did
then
this happen?
it was in the afternoon. It wasn't like, you know what a very, very odd thing is? In America, it is very rare for you to get stopped by the police for what you're wearing. It just doesn't happen. But in Iran, when I was there, it just happened all the time, kind of, right? The morality police, who are basically thugs, would stop you on the street and criticize you all the time. So it wasn't that unusual for this to happen. But I think it was a wake-up call to my parents that they had a son who was bound to get himself into trouble.
So did you did they put you in a bus? How did that happen? How many guys arrested you?
It wasn't arrests are a hilariously Western idea where the cops read your right and arrest you. That's not what the morality police in Iran does. They just kind of grab you, yank you, and push you onto a bus or a minivan, basically. And then at that point, you kind of know what's going to happen. Back then, at least, look, I haven't been back to Iran since I left. If I ever go back, it would be a one-way trip, so I try to avoid it. But yeah, they just kind of grab you, push on this bus. What I did, because I knew what was coming next, is I took out my wallet and handed all the money I had to the bus driver, and he let me off the bus. And then went home and
No
shortly
kidding.
thereafter.
So you snuck away from him.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I mean, the good thing about
you're a
the
smart
good thing
guy.
well, the good thing about dictatorships is that they tend to not be very well run. They tend to be run by people who are not good at running things.
So in '95, you arrived in Toronto, Canada, right?
Mhm.
Is that Toronto? So
Yeah.
this is crazy. I worked in Toronto in '92 and '93. I ran a photography company for a year there.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I loved Toronto. Was a great city, really a great city. What part of Toronto did you live in?
So my parents did what immigrants do. Toronto has this hilarious, almost bug in its zoning rules at one point, where in the richest neighborhood in Toronto, there's basically 3 apartment buildings that are kind of like a project.
Yeah.
So I lived in one of those apartment buildings because my parents were like, hey, there's a good school here. We didn't have any money. There was 3 families living in a 3-bedroom apartment. And that's where I grew up. I lived in those apartment buildings till I moved away to college.
And did you go to Queens College? Where did you go to college?
I went to Queens, yeah.
It's right in Toronto, and then
It's about 2 hours outside Toronto. It's a relatively small school, but it has some famous alumni. So I mean, most famous is Elon. Elon went to Queens.
Yeah. Okay. He was there about the time you were there, wasn't he?
He's older than me.
A little older. Okay.
But he was there about about a decade before I was there.
Okay. So you ready for this? Another connection that I have there. You may not remember this group. It was a small group. They did the opening act for Shania Twain for a while. There's a musical group based in the Peterborough, Ontario area. They do kind of Irish modern pop combo stuff. Their name is Leahy, Leahy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We tried to find I know them. They've come down here and performed. They're fabulous. If we're related, it's like 10th cousins or something like that. But we've become really great friends because they're.
I approve of the fact that they used to open for Shania. You live in the greatest music city in the world.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So I'm very jealous that you get to do that.
So let's talk a little bit about what you did after Queens. You've become a very successful entrepreneur. What are your long string of successes before you became the CEO of Open Door?
Yeah, so I because I was an immigrant, I had to work relatively early as a kid, and I was a computer nerd, so I knew how to build websites. So this intersection of money and computers was basically everything I've ever done. I used to go door to door, knock on, in malls, knock on stores and build websites for them. That paid for college. Then I started a payments company that was acquired by a large financial services company in 2016. And then for a couple of years, I was at Facebook, where I was in charge of payments and billing at Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So everything you ever buy on Facebook or WhatsApp or Instagram, the odds are I built the product that does that.
Now,
Or at least
did you
a
move
version of it.
to Palo Alto to do that in California?
Yeah, so I started a company. We moved from Toronto to Palo Alto to actually start the company.
Oh, you started the company in Palo. Where? Because I went to Stanford Business School. I know all that area. Where did you do
Yeah,
it?
so it's actually very. I'm not the biggest fan of California. I think there's problems with the state, but Palo Alto is. If you are a nerd like I am, Palo Alto is basically heaven.
Yes.
And so we actually moved. My wife and I moved to California to start the company that we built and sold. So I'd moved all the way to California in 2013. And yeah, so I was at Facebook for a couple of years, and then I moved to a company called Shopify and built a product that I think is now the most successful payment product on the internet called Shop Pay. It's that little purple button that comes up on all the websites where you use to buy things. And became the COO of Shopify, where our mission was to increase entrepreneurship in the world, because we thought that small businesses are the backbone of the economy, and we need to help small businesses thrive. And the world was built for big businesses, and favors big businesses. And our job at Shopify was to reverse that, to help give small businesses all the advantages that big businesses did. And millions of businesses around the world now use Shopify and use the products I built at Shopify. I'm incredibly proud of that. And about 4 months ago now, I joined Opendoor.
In September of 2025, you're the CEO. Cass, if you can hold, we got a payment to make right now. We got 3 minutes of commercials we have to do. I'm sorry.
Great.
I'd rather keep it
Go for
rolling.
it.
But if you can wait for 3 minutes, let's come back. We'll have another 11-minute segment. And then we'll talk about what you're doing at Opendoor. And I think you've got something to tell us that may be coming out of the Trump administration very soon. Back with Kaz Najadian, who is the CEO of Opendoor. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy. The website, TennesseeStar.com.
Ponder this, Judgment Day, the day you go before the Lord face to face. For many of us, this day seems like a long way away, and we are told that all of us will be in a better place when we die. What many of us forget is that our God is a God of justice. On Judgment Day, you will stand before the Lord and account for all of your thoughts, words, and actions during your time here on earth. You might be thinking that you're not such a bad dude, you didn't kill anyone, and you went to church every now and then, so you've earned your ticket to heaven. Hold that thought, as the Lord has told us what we need to get through those pearly gates. We must believe in Him, be baptized, follow Him by keeping His commandments, love Him, and love our friends and enemies. It doesn't matter how much knowledge you possess, how many awards or accolades are on your resume, or how much money you have, nor how high you are on the ladder of success. Judgment Day is real, and you are not judged by a jury of your peers. Prepare each day for Judgment Day. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am passionately Catholic.
Is your pet ready for some pawsome fun? At Creekside Pet Hotel in Kennesaw, every day is a tail-wagging adventure. Whether they're romping with friends in day camp, enjoying a staycation in our cozy boarding, or getting pampered in our luxury spa, we make sure every furry guest gets the royal treatment. Happy pets, wagging tails, and the best care. What more could they ask for? Book your pet's perfect getaway today at CreeksidePetHotel.com or give us a call at 770-422-4700.
The Cats and Cosby Show.
It's a common sense recap of the big stories.
It's not that all Somalis are criminal. It's just that 90% of these crimes are being committed by Somali Americans. And if you came to this country and you took advantage of the Americans' generosity, you committed fraud, and you refused to assimilate, you know what? I got 4 words for you. Get the hell out.
Cats and Cosby, 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the John Fredericks Media Network.
The book needs to be thrown at these people.
The math is simple. Every dollar we waste on unnecessary federal supervision is a dollar we can't use to fight violent crime. The Safer Supervision Act cuts bureaucratic waste and frees up law enforcement resources to protect families from serious threats. Law enforcement officers across the country and Republicans in Congress agree this is a smarter way to improve public safety. Stop the waste, protect our communities, fix federal supervision. Visit safersupervision.com to help. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
What happens in Virginia doesn't stay in Virginia. It influences policy and policymakers nationwide. The VirginiaStar.com shines a light on the issues in VA that become issues for the USA, with insightful commentary that gets to the fact of the matter. The VirginiaStar.com is your source of wisdom and truth, locally, statewide, and nationally. Log on today and every day. The VirginiaStar.com. The VirginiaStar.com.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
We are rejoined by Kaz Nejatian, the CEO of Open Door. Kaz, yesterday, President Trump signed an executive order that seeks to limit Wall Street investors from buying single-family homes as part of his push to make essentials more affordable for Americans. Your thoughts on that, Kaz?
Look, at Open Door, our job is to tilt the world towards homeowners and people working hard to become homeowners. And I think President Trump is taking steps to fix a real homeownership crisis in America. If you think about the thing that separated America from every other country, Tocqueville wrote about this 200 years ago. The fact that Americans own the ground that they live on has been the key differentiator that has allowed this country to avoid the road to serfdom. And it is incredibly difficult to buy a home today. For the first time in a very long time, the average homeowner, the first-time homeowner, is over 40 years old. This means people are buying into their communities later. When you buy a home, you buy a share in the community. You lay grounds, and their roots matter. And what President Trump is doing is exactly right. We need to make housing affordable again. We need to allow people to own homes so they can actually raise families, because that is what builds the future. You know, kids that are born in houses that are owned by their parents have better life outcomes. All the data is clear on this. And I think for too long, housing has been treated just like another asset class, but it really isn't. It's where communities grow. And yesterday, President Trump took a step towards making housing more affordable for everyday Americans. And I think it's a step in the right direction. And I think it will genuinely help.
So did you quote Alexis de Tocqueville on this? Was that
I quote Tocqueville with some frequency.
I can't believe
Thomas Jefferson said, it's people, I'm going to screw up the quote, but I think Thomas Jefferson said that the most important citizen was the average landowner. This is very core to the core idea of being American, that I get to own the land I stand on, I get to defend it, and I get to raise my family on it. And it's very different than what the rest of the world used to be.
My favorite book ever, the most influential book that I've ever read, is Democracy in America by Alexis de Tocqueville. And I am stunned that the CEO of an American corporation is influenced as significantly as I am by that book and by the home ownership. And you're absolutely right. If you own a home, you have agency, right? You have your land, and you have independence as an individual. And I think that's part of it part of the angst of those under 40 these days who can't afford to buy a home is they don't feel like they have agency.
There's so much data on this, Michael, that same family, same wealth, same income. If you own a home, you spend less of your income on services and luxury goods and more of your income on your family.
Mm-hmm.
If you own a home, you work harder. If you own a home, the odds are that crime in your neighborhood goes down. When you buy a home, you buy a share in the future of America. And this is not rhetoric, it's a core belief of what started this country and is what made all the difference. What used to happen in this country is if you were a teacher, you could afford to buy a home. You worked hard, you could afford to buy a home. That's no longer true. And President Trump understands this. This administration understands that a home is just not another financial instrument. It is core to the idea of being American and raising families here. I think that's what makes the difference, that these policies are not an attack on business. They're an investment in the future of this country. And that's what matters.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of reports that that housing has been an issue because all these single-family homes bought up by Wall Street guys that really are trying to make money from renters. And the problem is, if you have too many renters, the renters have less interest in the maintenance of the house. They have less pride in the ownership of the house. And so that really has a very negative social consequence in terms of civic engagement, it seems to me, Kaz.
Yeah, renters move, owners stay. And look, owning a home in a community is a little bit like being married to that community. You are committed to its future, and you get to know your neighbors. You care about what happens on the street. You care about the local park. You're invested in the future. And that's what makes American cities great. That's what makes American towns great. This is a key. This is why so much of our downtown cores are being emptied out, because people don't own homes in them anymore like they used to. And I think that's a fundamental change. And by the way, this is to be very clear, like I'm in New York today, and people who live in New York and work on Wall Street just have a different understanding of what a home is than people who live in Nashville or Charlotte or Raleigh or Dallas, right?
Yeah.
They're fundamentally different places. New York and San Francisco are just different. But in the rest of the country, this will have an actual impact on the marginal ability of an average family to buy their first home. And I think this is the first thing the administration is doing, along with a bunch of very good work they've done in the mortgage market to lower the cost of mortgages. But from best I can tell, they're going to do more. And it's just wonderful to see the government helping a little. Look, American families don't need handouts, but what they do need is their government to tilt the scale to be more fair. And I think that's the most important thing the government can do for the future of homeownership in this country.
Tell us about your role as a CEO of Open Door. What does Open Door do? And what are you going to do as the CEO of Open Door to fulfill that mission?
Hey, look, our job at Open Door is simple. Tilt the world toward homeowners and people working hard to become homeowners. When you buy a home, what usually happens is you end up with an asset that's very difficult for you to get out of, right? I was talking to a customer yesterday who lived in Minnesota. They wanted to move to Dallas, and the customer said, hey, I'm gonna have to list my house. It'll be 180 days before it sells. I'll have to pay a bunch of people, a bunch of money. I'm gonna have to leave the house. It's gonna be terrible. What Open Door allows that customer to do is to get a fair offer on that house within 48 hours and sell it to us within 14 days. So you can move. Then what we do is we turn around, we fix that house and immediately sell it to another family. Our job is to make it easier to buy and sell homes for average families, such that they can get their first home or move for a new job or downsize or move to a new city. And we are among the largest, most broadly held stocks in America partially because I think the average American believes in our mission. They think there's something wrong with the housing sector, and they viewed our job to help fix it.
I'm looking at the revenues of Open Door, and they've $1 billion in 2018, jumped up to $15 billion in 2022, but it dropped them dramatically to $5 billion in 2024. That obviously is something of concern to you now as a new CEO.
Yeah.
What's your plan?
Look, I think what happened was when interest rates went up dramatically, Americans stopped buying homes. Right? They stopped moving there, and then they could not move because they were locked into these rates. And that had a very odd effect on the company. But also, more importantly, transparently, for a while, Open Door was captured by people who thought businesses should be run in Excel sheets. Whereas these days, we're focused on our mission. And we think if we do a good job for our customers on a core mission, which is buy your home quickly for a fair price, sell your home quickly for a fair price, make the home buying and selling experience more like buying a pair of shoes online, so you know you can trust it. Let me give you an example. If you buy a home from Open Door today in Texas, New Mexico, you buy the home, you don't like it, you can return it, 0 fees. You get a 7-day return policy on a home because we stand by our product. If you buy a home from us, every home comes with a 100-day warranty, because we stand by our product. And we're going to expand this to everywhere in the country. And I think that actually allows people to feel a little bit more sure about taking the scary step of owning their first home.
One last question for you. Are you Open Door, you're based in the Bay Area, San Francisco? Where are you based?
So I'm based in Miami. The company is headquartered in Miami. We have offices in Phoenix. We have offices in San Francisco, and we have an office in Toronto.
I was going to pitch you to move your headquarters to Nashville.
I love Nashville. Nashville is a wonderful city, a very fast-growing city. And actually, we have a couple of team members in Nashville.
Great.
And I listen to country music, so I'm in Nashville all the time.
Good. Well, stop by in studio next time you're here. Kaz Nejedian, the CEO of Open Door, a very favorable review of Donald Trump's housing executive order. Kaz, thanks so much for joining us. I'm really glad to meet you.
Thanks for having me, Michael.
All right. Thanks so much. Kaz Nejedian with opendoor.com. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy. We'll be back with more after this. Our website, TennesseeStar.com, TennesseeStar.com.
Attorney General Miyares and John Fredericks talk about skill games.
They're unregulated slot machines.
They pop up in 7-Elevens in every corner of Virginia.
The General Assembly has spoken on this.
Skill games.
These things are illegal.
It's the Wild Wild West. Fights break out. Robberies increase.
Skill games.
They prey on the less fortunate.
I say it's a tax on the poor.
They're breaking the law.
My job is to enforce the law. These machines are not allowed.
Enforce the law and get them out of there.
When you see skill games, call the local sheriff.
These things are illegal.
Paid for by Churchill Downs.
Let's be real. Losing weight isn't just about looking good. It's about taking back control of your overall health. 42% of adults in America are classified as obese, and obesity is directly linked to severe health issues. If you've tried diets and different workouts with no success, it's not your fault. Big Food and Big Pharma have rigged the system against you with contradicting information, leaving you confused. But there's good news. The Wellness Company just launched Drop, a GLP-1 peptide oral drop formula developed developed by their chief medical board, specifically designed to support your metabolism, curb cravings, and help you shed weight. That's right, no injections, no risk of the severe side effects we're seeing with the Zempic. Start your weight loss journey today and get $100 off, plus free shipping. Go to twc.health/Godzilla and use promo code Godzilla100. That's twc.health/Godzilla. Promo code Godzilla100. Take action today for a healthier tomorrow.
Trump 2.0 is in full effect. How do you keep up with all the action? I'll tell you. TrumpNationNews.com is your inside source for the inside scoop. Manufacturing, jobs, deportations, and the nation's rejuvenation. The first 100 days and beyond. All the news you need and no liberal gibberish. It's the perfect way to start your day. Sign up for the TNN newsletter. Do it today. TrumpNationNews.com. TrumpNationNews.com. Part of the John Fredericks Media Network.
Did you ever stop and think, why do the wealthy pay less taxes than we do? One reason, they take full advantage of the IRS tax code. Today's tax code is over 2 million pages. Who can read that? Remember the 2016 debate with Hillary Clinton? When asked why he doesn't pay more taxes, President Trump had the perfect answer. He said, if you don't like the current tax code, change it. I follow the very laws that you wrote. That's where Julio Gonzalez and his company, Tax Engineered Services, comes in. Julio's team looks at your taxes after they're done, but before you file them with the IRS. He doesn't get between you and your accountant. He reviews your taxes, makes his recommendations, and only gets 5 to 10% of what he saved you. No money up front, no cost. It's tax literacy for MAGA. He also sees what grants you may qualify for. For more information, text ETS to the number 26786. That's ETS to 26786. Text now.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. We're broadcasting live from our studios in downtown Nashville, Tennessee. Okay, all the whiny Europeans and Canadians are there trying to give Donald Trump a hard time. Here is Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney.
On Arctic sovereignty, we stand firmly with Greenland and Denmark and fully support their unique right to determine Greenland's future. Our commitment to NATO's Article 5 is unwavering. So we're working with our NATO allies, including the Nordic-Baltic 8, to further secure the alliance's northern and western flanks, including through Canada's unprecedented investments in over-the-horizon radar, in submarines, in aircraft, and boots on the ground, boots on the ice. Canada strongly opposes tariffs over Greenland and calls for focused talks to achieve our shared objectives of security and prosperity in the Arctic. On plurilateral trade, we're championing efforts to build a bridge between the Trans-Pacific Partnership and the European Union, which would create a new trading bloc of 1.5 billion people.
Yeah, unparalleled investments in security. That is what somebody says when they don't have anything for real. Unparalleled investments. We're spending money on dog sleds and stuff like that. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's dog sleds plus. Donald Trump actually later that day, actually earlier this morning, came in and told all the guys, okay, we're not going to use military force to take over Greenland. It's stupid. In all of this, saber rattling of Canada saying, oh, we'll enforce Article 5 and we'll defend Greenland. I mean, come on. Canadian Army and Defense Forces are minuscule at best, and they're not up to the task. I mean, they got a bunch of, overweight, lesbian, gay, tranny, paper pushers. That's what they've got. They don't have any military capability at all. There was a time, I guess, back in World War II, the Canadian Air Forces were pretty good, and they helped out in the Battle of Britain. But Canada in 1940, 1950, 1960, it's nothing like Canada today. In fact, Canada has been ruined by all this open immigration. The population is, largely, I think it's like 25% foreign born now, maybe even more. And they hate the United States, and they're all, they want to be nice, but they don't get anything done. They're weak. Speaking of weak, there's another weak guy there wearing his sunglasses because he had some sort of problem. And that is Emmanuel Macron, the Prime Minister of France. Let's play this clip right now.
China is welcome, but what we need is more Chinese foreign direct investment in Europe in some key sectors to contribute to our growth, to transfer some technologies, and not just to export towards Europe some devices or products which sometimes don't have the same standards or are much more subsidized as the one being produced in Europe.
Okay. He's bending the knee to China. Oh, we need more direct investment in China. No. That's not who the partner should be. The partner should be the United States of America. Why should the partner be the United States of America? I'll tell you why. Because we got it going on. Here's Howard Lutnick, who is the Secretary of Commerce, not a shy guy, explaining the details thereof.
Well, I think you should start at a much higher level. Okay? We are in Davos at the World Economic Forum. And the Trump administration and myself, we are here to make a very clear point. Globalization has failed the West and the United States of America. It's a failed policy. It is what the WEF has stood for, which is export, offshore, far shore, find the cheapest labor in the world, and the world is a better place for it. The fact is, it has left America behind. It has left the American workers behind. And what we are here to say is that America First is a different model, one that we encourage other countries to consider, which is that our workers come first. We can have policies that impact our workers. Sovereignty is your borders. You're entitled to have borders. You shouldn't offshore your medicine. You shouldn't offshore your semiconductors. You shouldn't offshore your entire industrial base and have it be hollowed out beneath you. You should not be dependent for that which is fundamental to your sovereignty on any other nation. And if you're going to be dependent on someone, it darn well better be your best allies. Okay? And so that is a different way of thinking. It is completely different than the WEF. I viewed the WEF as not a flagpole in the middle, but in fact, they are the flag. Whichever way the wind blew, so it blew. You should have solar, you should have wind. Why are you going to do solar and wind? Why would Europe agree to be net zero in 2030 when they don't make a battery? They don't make a battery. So if they go 2030, they are deciding to be subservient to China, who makes the batteries.
Okay, he mentioned WEF. You're saying, what is WEF? It is the World Economic Forum. That's the guys in Davos. They push this globalization stuff. And look, if you were, taking an economics course and they talked about division of labor, the whole idea of destroying the industrial base of America so that all the stuff could be made elsewhere. If everybody, in an ideal world, if everybody was a nice country and didn't wish you ill, perhaps that would work. But here's the deal. And I have to look back at, people are looking at kind of the golden era of America. Now it's the golden era of America because we're reasserting our can-do attitude and our manufacturing capability. It has been utterly destructive in many ways for our manufacturing capacity, our engineering capacity, our invention capacity to be outsourced to cheaper countries that don't have our economic interest or our national strategic interests. That's been a huge error. And look, how long has that been going on? It's been going on a long time. Reagan, it happened in the Reagan era. Carter, Reagan, Nixon, all those guys. But it accelerated under Clinton, Under George H.W. Bush, it accelerated. Under George W. Bush, under Barack Obama. And so what have you here is when we shipped out our industrial base, you took away the ability of a lot of middle-class Americans to make a living. And you took away their pride. Because, if you make a product from nothing, if you build a quality product, there's pride in that. But what's happened is everything's gotten all screwed up because they've decided that it's, can't get your hands dirty. We just need to think great thoughts. I want to play. Let's go to this clip of clip 21. I think of the Minnesota professor. I think you have that one. Okay. This is the attitudinal problem that we have right now. And it's an existential crisis. America is a constitutional republic built on a can-do attitude of let's get things done, right? And let's not be victims. Let us go forward. And if you look at the growth of industrial America, where's it happened? It happened in the latter 19th century when you had guys like Thomas Alva Edison, never made it past the 8th grade. From my area of the world, William Minor, similar guy, made it past the 8th grade, invented a whole bunch of equipment used in railroads, got rich. This is the idea. You invent stuff, you make stuff, you create stuff. But right now, you've got all of these elites at universities all across the United States, including not just Ivy Leagues, but public-supported universities. And, of course, Minnesota right now is ground zero for I Hate America. The elites in Minnesota have decided they want to hate America. Here's a professor at the University of Minnesota in Minneapolis talking about, well, I hope you want to dismantle America. I kid you not. She's paid by the taxpayers, by the way. Public employee. Play this clip right now.
Of all liberation struggles and the movements that seek a world of justice, equality, and peace, that seek to dismantle the United States. I hope you seek to dismantle the United States. And if that isn't your politics, okay? I speak as if everybody has this commitment. And the thing is that you should listen to Indigenous people when they're telling you that this is the goal. And that not only is this the goal, but this is the starting point. Because I think Nick articulated this very clearly. Decolonization is the only thing that is going to save us as a species, is the only thing that's going to save us as a planet. And everyone should just be on board with it, no questions asked. And I say this sometimes on the podcast, our Red Nation podcast, I'm the co-host of Red Power Hour. Of the most oppressed ass people in Turtle Island, Indigenous women are on the top of that fucking.
We can't get these people to speak and not drop an F-bomb. Unbelievable. But the key takeaway from all this, is no questions asked. Dismantle the United States of America. This is the attitude that is flourishing in any number of blue states right now, and it's flourishing in part. And I think Phil Klein talked about this. Where is the money coming from for the activist side of it? Well, of course, you've got the blue state governments that have bought into this. California, Illinois, Minnesota. They're in essence, insurrectionists, nullification types, like we had in the South in the during the pre-Civil War antebellum era. But the money for the door-to-door activism is coming from this guy who lives in China, the Singham character, who made a lot of money on some IT consulting company, and also it's coming from this Hans Weiss guy, the Swiss citizen, and George Soros and Alex Soros. They're not being shy about it. They're saying, as she did, what they want to do is dismantle the United States of America. Now, this is a battle that we've got to win. There's no, can't we all just get along? One side's going to win and one side's going to lose. And that's why, Minnesota really is ground zero of it right now. And we got to, as they say, nip it in the bud. And that means we've got to go after and prosecute at a federal level all these people that are enabling A, the fraud, and B, the resistance to ICE. We'll have more when we get back. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy. The website, TennesseeStar.com.
Hey folks, Al Green here for SatPhone. When you're on the go, you want to know you're connected. If it's a family vacation or an off-the-grid escape to a remote destination, having reliable communication helps you feel safe and secure. You can't afford to find yourself in a dead zone. That's why you need SatPhone. SatPhones are reliable, durable, and give you global coverage. If you can get outside, you can get in touch. It's that simple. Make calls from your SatPhone to any regular cell phone in the United States. The phones are $1,500 value, but you can get yours free. Just sign up for a 15-month plan, $94.95 a month. Get 150 minutes monthly that roll to the next month. Go 3 months without using them, that's fine. Yes, 3 months, 450 minutes, all yours. Visit SAT123.com or call 855-980-5830. SAT123.com, 855-980-5830. Get surety and security with your SatPhone. Call now.
Is your pet ready for some pawsome fun? At Creekside Pet Hotel in Kennesaw, every day is a tail-wagging adventure. Whether they're romping with friends in day camp, enjoying a staycation in our cozy boarding, or getting pampered in our luxury spa, we make sure every furry guest gets the royal treatment. Happy pets, wagging tails, and the best care. What more could they ask for? Book your pet's perfect getaway today at CreeksidePetHotel.com or give us a call at 770-422-4700.
What happens in Virginia doesn't stay in Virginia. It influences policy and policymakers nationwide. The VirginiaStar.com shines a light on the issues in VA that become issues for the USA, with insightful commentary that gets to the fact of the matter. The VirginiaStar.com is your source of wisdom and truth, locally, statewide, and nationally. Log on today and every day. The VirginiaStar.com. The VirginiaStar.com.
If you've tried everything for cheek redness or breakouts and nothing works, it's not your fault. The real cause might be deeper than you think. Introducing Clear Skin Ivermectin Cream from the Wellness Company, a prescription-strength, dermatologist-developed formula that helps reduce inflammation, balance bacteria, and restore your skin's natural glow. This triple-action cream combines 3 medical-grade ingredients for powerful results. Azelaic acid to unclog pores and fade dark spots, metronidazole to control bacterial imbalance and redness, and ivermectin to calm irritation and eliminate skin parasites that contribute to rosacea and acne. Together, these ingredients work to reduce bumps, swelling, and redness while supporting smoother, healthier, and more radiant skin over time. Formulated and compounded in the United States, this FDA-approved cream is trusted by doctors for visible and lasting results. Experience clear, confident skin with the Wellness Company's Clear Skin Ivermectin Cream. U.S. residents only. Head to twc.health/Godzilla and use code Godzilla to save $20 off, plus free shipping.
I'm Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of Glockstore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported the Second Amendment rights of free men and women to protect themselves and their families with firearms. We offer the very best in both selection and prices on Glock handguns, custom Glocks, Glock magazines, and high-performance shooting accessories at Glockstore.com. We also have the finest retail showroom and our Shoot 270 shoot rooms right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Come visit us at Glockstore.com, and you'll be glad you did.
My fellow Americans, I was this close, very close, to buying from the lumber yards. These are sick people. But I turned my head at the last second, and I saw a big, beautiful ad for D.T. McCall's. These are highly respected people. If I had not turned my head at the last second, I would have been ripped off at some lumberyard for $200 in hidden charges, and D.T. McCall & Sons are never going to do that. They'd never do that to you. These are great people. I've known them for a long time. They have great deals, and I just have to say, nobody knows deals like I do. D.T. McCall & Sons has locations in Lebanon, Carthage, Lafayette, Cookeville, and Franklin, and they have been family-owned in Middle Tennessee for over 100 years. These are tremendous people. D.T. McCall & Sons. Check out one of their stores today.
Impersonator not endorsed by Donald Trump.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Hey there, it's Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of GlockStore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported our Second Amendment rights with GlockStore.com, the world's #1 source for Glock handguns, parts, and accessories. I also support accurate, unbiased journalism like The Michael Patrick Leahy Show. His team broke the Kilmar Abrego Garcia traffic stop and was the first to obtain that video. Independent journalism at its finest. Visit us at GlockStore.com, listen to Michael Patrick Leahy, and make America great again.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. We're going to revisit the out-of-control destruction of rule of law at every level of government in the state of Minnesota right now, particularly in Minneapolis, St. Paul. And as you recall, on Sunday, a bunch of left-wing activists invaded and disrupted and obstructed a church service in St. Paul at City's Church. And one of the leaders of this was this fellow, Will Kelly, who's certifiably insane, had been arrested the previous day and then released by Minneapolis police for being involved in a protest in a violent way. So the next day he goes out and he joins all these 60 people that disrupt the church services in St. Paul. Here he is in a press conference. And let me just, this is the mindset of crazy people who hate America.
I mean, what we're seeing around this country is they're using their political influence to attack people that disagree with them. They're going to come at me with charges, and I'm not scared of that. There's no base for these charges. I did not block them from, their service. They welcomed us in. They never asked us to leave. The police never came in and removed us. So we didn't stop their service. In fact, people were still praying the entire time. The music was still playing the entire time. So, Pam Bondi, you want to come and arrest me? You want to come and give me charges? So be it. And for all the people giving me death threats, threatening my life, kill me. Go ahead, kill me. Because you know what? As Fred Hampton said, you can kill the revolutionary, but you can't kill the revolution.
Oh, so you can kill the revolutionary, but you can't kill the revolution. I mean, he's basically saying he wants to, along with that Minnesota professor, dismantle the United States of America. That's what he's after. And by the way, he lied about that. This guy's insane. We were invited in. Not. We were never asked to leave. Not. Look at the clip of the pastor. Please, we want you to leave. They wouldn't leave. Right? So it's all a complete and total bogus lie from the left. And yet the police did nothing at all to help them. Here is the guy's name is Greg Bavino. He's the Border Patrol guy who's been front and center on this. He had a press conference the other day talking about this. Clip 11.
A few individuals that I'd like to share with you. Individuals that were arrested since yesterday. These 3 individuals were arrested just since yesterday. Keep in mind now, these individuals were walking the streets of Minneapolis with impunity as of yesterday. We've got Hovai Kumaye, a illegal alien from Laos, a registered sex offender, convicted of sex offense against a child, including fondling and failure to register as a sex offender. This individual was walking the streets of Minneapolis just yesterday. This individual right here. It's very interesting that I haven't seen this individual or many others like him reported on very much by the local news media or the state news media. That's interesting. But wait, let's don't quit there. No, you can't. Let's continue here. We've got Samuel Aravelo Hernandez, a criminal illegal alien from Guatemala, charged with rape and lewd or lascivious acts with a minor. Now, think about that for just a second. Rape, and then on top of that, lewd and lascivious acts with a minor. This individual was walking the streets of Minneapolis with impunity just yesterday. Let's don't quit there. Let's keep on there. We've got Annabelle Gomez, a criminal illegal alien from Honduras, previously arrested for criminal sexual conduct and domestic assault. Other convictions include disorderly conduct and driving under the influence of liquor.
Okay, so let's talk about what really is going on in the city-state of Minneapolis-St. Paul, part of the state. I say city-state because they think they're independent of the United States of America. They want to dismantle it, and they're ignoring the rule of law. The crazy people are interrupting church services because they don't want illegal alien criminals who've engaged in rape and murder and all that sort of stuff that have been basically given sanctuary in Minneapolis-St. Paul. They don't want them arrested and deported. That's pretty sick. All right. Oh, do we hear something? Yeah, how has he made it all the way from Davos, Switzerland? Donald Trump and getting out in our landing pad out here. There's Sean Farage. I'm going to have to hear how he got here back so quickly. 47 and Sean Farage will join us after the break.
Let's face it, losing weight isn't just about looks. It's about taking back control of your health. Tired of confusing diets and injections with harsh side effects? Meet Drop, an oral GLP-1 peptide from the Wellness Company that boosts metabolism, curbs cravings, and helps you burn fat. No needles needed. Just mix it with water and let your body do the rest. Right now, get $100 off and free shipping at twc.health/Godzilla and use the promo code Godzilla100 to save $100. Drop the weight. Take back your life.
Did you ever stop and think, why do the wealthy pay less taxes than we do? One reason, they take full advantage of the IRS tax code. Today's tax code is over 2 million pages. Who can read that? Remember the 2016 debate with Hillary Clinton? When asked why he doesn't pay more taxes, President Trump had the perfect answer. He said, if you don't like the current tax code, change it. I follow the very laws that you wrote. That's where Julio Gonzalez and his company, Tax Engineered Services, comes in. Julio's team looks at your taxes after they're done, but before you file them with the IRS. He doesn't get between you and your accountant. He reviews your taxes, makes his recommendations, and only gets 5 to 10% of what he saved you. No money up front, no cost. It's tax literacy for MAGA. He also sees what grants you may qualify for. For more information, text ETS to the number 26786. That's ETS to 26786. Text now.
John Fredericks loves his radio and TV audience, but did you know how to follow the Godzilla of Truth wherever you go? Download the John Fredericks Radio Show app to listen live nationwide. For the daily chit-chat, Trucking the Truth, download the Getter app and join the morning fun on Getter Live from 6 to 10 a.m. Follow John Fredericks on Getter, Truth Social, or Twitter at JF Radio Show.
This is WJFN Goochland, Bonaire, Chester, and WJFV Portsmouth, part of the John Fredericks Media Network.
Breaking news at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. President Trump is ruling out military Greenland, but he's not backing down from plans to take control of the Danish territory.
During a speech to world and business leaders in Switzerland, the president said he won't be using the U.S. military to seize Greenland.
People thought I would use force. I don't have to use force. I don't want to use force. I won't use force.
But he also issued a warning to NATO leaders who oppose U.S. control of the territory.
You can say yes, and we will be very appreciative, or you can say no, and we will remember.
The president said he's seeking immediate negotiations to acquire Greenland. Greg Clugston, Washington.
The unofficial death toll in Iran from the recent protests has now exceeded 4,500.
We've been told that in the mortuary, relatives and friends were huddled around a screen, trying to identify their loved ones from hundreds of images of the dead. The slideshow is said to have lasted for hours, with the injuries of many victims so severe that the people couldn't be recognized. Labels on more than 100 victims showed the date they died as the 9th of January, one of the deadliest nights for protesters in Tehran so far.
That report from the BBC's Marilyn Thomas. Cold weather is on the way for much of the country, so says Brian Jackson with the National Weather Service Forecasting Center.
There's a strong Arctic cold front that'll move across the northern plains and the Great Lakes and the Midwest Thursday into Friday. So yeah, a lot of Arctic air and real cold, coldest air of the season. So they've had a lot of cold air already across the northern tier of the country, but this will be the coldest yet.
The storm is shaping up to be what one forecaster calls a widespread, potentially catastrophic event, stretching all the way from Texas to the Carolinas. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. Now that we're finally into the new year, a lot of us are thinking about taxes, home projects we've been putting off, ways to get ahead financially in 2026. Now's the perfect time to talk to my friends at Fellowship Home Loans. If you want to lower your mortgage payment, they can help you refinance. If you need access to cash for home improvements or to wipe out high-interest debt, their fixed-rate line of credit is one of the best tools out there. Fast approval, predictable rate, and flexibility to use your home's equity wisely. Remember, many people still qualify to skip their next 2 mortgage payments. Imagine starting big projects or paying down debt with 2 months of breathing room. My family and I have used Fellowship personally. I trust these guys. Take control of 2026. Go to fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G. fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G. fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G. or call 800-510-MIKE. That's 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans. Mortgage lending by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers. DBA Fellowship Home Loans. Equal housing lender. NMLS number 819382.
And now here's Rich Thomason with the Midday Wall Street Business Report.
President Trump has signed an executive order to restrict Wall Street firms from buying single-family homes. Correspondent Greg Clugston reports.
It's a move designed to stop wealthy investors from competing with individual home buyers. The president says such investors should not buy single-family homes that could otherwise be purchased by families. The executive order comes as the administration works to address voter affordability concerns ahead of this year's congressional elections. Greg Clugston, the White House.
Global markets mostly declined while trading on Wall Street stabilized somewhat ahead of President Trump's speech to the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. Given these uncertain times, gold prices have crossed the $4,800 mark for the first time, gaining 2.2%. I'm Rich Thomason.
Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. Federal prosecutors have served 6 grand jury subpoenas to Minnesota officials, including Democrat Governor Tim Walz. They're all in connection with the recent attacks on ICE agents there. Correspondent Andrew Stewart has more.
Governor Walz contends the Trump administration is not seeking justice, but only creating distractions. The person familiar with this case was not authorized to speak publicly about ongoing probes. This person spoke to the AP on condition of anonymity. Meanwhile, confrontations with immigration officers in Minnesota are showing no signs of stopping.
That is correspondent Andrew Stewart reporting. The New York Stock Exchange is working on a digital platform that would enable investors to trade digital tokens around the clock. The platform would be separate from the NYSE's current exchange, which operates only on weekdays. It would also allow for instant settlement of transactions with orders sized in dollar amounts.
It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Are they landing? Yeah, they're coming out. There it is, the helicopter. 47's out. We're kind of cold. We're in its heavy coat. Wind blowing. There's Sean Farash right next to him, the very best Trump impersonator in the world. They're coming in the studio. Mr. President, thanks so much for joining. How did you get here so quickly from Davos, Switzerland?
Well, I have to tell you something. Candace Owens was finally right. I time traveled. I time traveled. It's possible. We time traveled across the ocean. We did it very well. Or maybe we're cloned, which I'm sure she believes in too, because she's a crazy person. But we did it. One way or another, we did it. We're here. It's Trump Day. It's Hump Day. It's a beautiful day.
You know, the underlying theme is it's cold out there. Davos, Switzerland looked a little cold today. Greenland, which is a topic of discussion, of course, we want to take it over. The whiny Europeans say, yeah, we don't want you to take it over because our legal right is what? We showed up on ships there half a millennium
Might as well
ago.
have been 500,000 years ago. They don't take very good care of it, by the way. And I'm just going to tell you something. We're not invading Greenland. We're just undocumented Greenlanders. And we're in search of a better life. And now you have to let us stay, right? That's what they do. You have to let us stay.
That's a good plan.
It's a beautiful plan. It's the greatest plan.
Our
Nobody can
military
fight with
will
us.
simply become undocumented
Greenlanders. We're going to
Greenlanders.
vote in their elections. We're going to do everything. They're going to say, sir, you can't do that, but you let it happen in your country. You let it happen in England. You have Sadiq. Wonder how he got elected. I don't think the British people did it. I don't think they did it. Somebody else did it. And the group of people who did it are a group of people who happen to love goats a lot. I have to say that. They love them a lot.
You know, I'm watching your speech today in Davos, Switzerland was spectacular in the sense that you just laid everything out calmly and factually, but you didn't pull any punches. You know, you guys in Europe, you're a bunch of idiots. You're stupid because you're buying these windmills that are losing money, and the only people making money are the Chinese who are making the windmills. But you're stupid because you're using windmills that aren't productive and are screwing up your energy.
Well, these are very stupid people. You look at Europe, they're very stupid people. They allow themselves, and they do this a lot. All these countries allow themselves to get invaded, and then they ask the United States to come help with it. Every time you look at France, France will get invaded very simply. You walk into the streets of Paris, you drop a beer bottle, it shatters. They're surrendering. They got the white flags out. But you look at all these other countries, they always allow themselves to get invaded. Europe is a very stupid place. They don't like when I say that. And they don't want us to get Greenland, so we're going to hit them with tariffs until they cave. And here's the plan. We're going to hit them with tariffs. They're going to hold out for a long time. They're going to hold out. We're not going to accept it. They're going to try and stand up and try and be tough, but we know they're not tough people. But we're going to tariff them. And while we're doing that, we're going to take all the revenue from the tariffs and we're going to buy Greenland. So Europe is going to pay for Greenland if they keep it up. But they're very stupid people. And they have a lot of problems. And we have a lot of problems too, but they have a lot more problems and bigger problems. And they don't want us to take Greenland, but they don't realize that they're paying for it with the tariffs, which is really a beautiful plan. All of the tariff revenue from Europe for the Greenland holdout is going to be used to purchase Greenland. And it's going to be, they don't like when I say that. They melt down when I say that. But we're very happy to be doing that.
So the people in Denmark, they sent like 13 soldiers and a dog sled up to Greenland to defend it. But, you know, your argument there at Davos was only the United States has the capability to defend Greenland and the European countries from an invasion from Russia or China. You were on point. It kind of hurt their feelings. I'm sorry to say that. But you pointed out that Denmark took about 6 hours to surrender to the Nazis during World War II. And we had to step in and defend Greenland. And then after World War II, stupidly, he says, we gave it back to him.
We never should have done that. You know, we should have held on to it. It's called finders keepers. We found it. We're keeping it. And now we're going to do the same thing. You know, they sent the dog sled, the Iditarod. And we do very well on the Iditarod. I get along well with these beautiful dogs. They run like crazy through the snow. Huskies, these are beautiful dogs. And I've tamed a wolf pack before. They're great. They call me the leader of the pack, the alpha. They call me the alpha. But we never should have given Greenland back. We should have just taken it. And we could take it now. They'll surrender in less than 6 hours now, I believe. They'd probably do that.
But you say you're not going to use military
We're going to
force.
take it. No, we're going to take it.
You're just going to take it.
However the hell we want, we're going to take it. We don't have to use military force. We could just say, it's ours, and we'll watch and see what they do. Because it's ours.
You know, it's the largest island in the world, but only 58,000 people live in it. And, of course, they're mostly, you know, like 90% Inuit distant relatives of the Inuit tribe in Alaska. They call them the Greenlandic. But the Vikings went there. Leif Erikson.
I got along well with him too.
Yeah, in the year 1000, they had
I got along very well with him.
They had a Viking settlement there until about 1400, and then they all died out.
I got along well with Leif.
Then
Leif
the
was a great
Danish,
person.
in around 1700, a guy went there and they planted a flag and they had a little mission, and the Danish have claimed it ever since. But Mr. President, they had a forced sterilization program there of the Greenlandic
Nasty people.
That's not,
very
that's not a
nasty
good thing.
people. Not a very good thing to do. And if planting your flag means it's yours, then the moon is ours. And you can't have it. It's our moon. It's not the Earth's moon. It's the United States' moon. We took one small step. I told Neil, I said to him, one small step. He said, sir, that's brilliant. I said, a giant leap for mankind. He said, that's brilliant. So, and he did very well on the moon. Neil Armstrong, tremendous guy. I spoke to Werner von Braun. I said, listen, I know you're a Nazi, but you got to get us to the moon. And he got us to the moon. But you look at Greenland, and we're going to go there. We'll plant our flag. We'll see what happens. But these are very stupid people. The Danish people, they think they're tough. They're not very tough.
No, they're not.
They're pushover. They're very pushover people. Push them over, and they're out of the way.
So I've heard this thought, and I just would like to get your idea on it, Mr. President. Alberta, the highly productive province in Canada, where they've got a bunch of oil and a bunch of wheat and farm products.
We could take that too if we want.
Alberta says a lot of citizens now are sick and tired of Canada. They want to leave Canada. What do you think of the idea of why don't we trade Minnesota to Canada in return for Alberta?
We could trade Minnesota, and we'll give them as a cherry on top Buffalo, right? You could have all of Niagara Falls. We want Alberta. You could take Buffalo. You could take the Bills, who have no head coach. You could take the Bucktooth Botox Bandit of Buffalo, Kathy Hochul, and Minnesota. We want Alberta. And
they've got two good hockey teams too. Calgary,
beautiful people. Well, Calgary's not doing too well. Edmonton's doing very well, but Calgary's not doing too well. But Edmonton's doing a great job. But Canada, they love their hockey in Canada. Maybe we'll make Alberta the 51st state. Instead of all of Canada, we'll just use
take Alberta. Yeah.
We'll take it. If they want to do it, they can do that. And we can make Greenland the 52nd state. And we could do a lot with Greenland. They're great people, beautiful people over there. We're looking at names. So you mentioned that these people are related to the Inuits of Alaska. We're looking at names for Greenland. We're looking at Macedonia.
Macedonia, I like
Donnyville
that.
is a tremendous name. The island of McDonald's is my favorite. East Alaska is another good one. We're looking at East Alaska very closely.
Yeah, I like that.
Very closely. Or Snow Australia, too. Cold Australia. Australia gets cold. In the southern portions of it, it gets very cold.
Another big island.
Canada, we call it Snow Mexico. But Greenland, we could call it East Alaska. We'll see what happens. We could also call it not Hawaii. But it's a cold place, very cold place.
I see your helicopters warming up there, Mr. President. You've got to go back to talk to the weak leaders of Europe at Davos, Switzerland. And so we wish you well. And thanks so much for coming by today.
We appreciate it. We're back to the Week Economic Forum, not the World, the Week Economic Forum.
Okay, up next, Sean Farash, the very best Trump impersonator in the world. Back after this.
Hi folks, John Fredericks here for Freedom Alliance. Veterans are still struggling with the wounds of war. They came home with injuries that changed them forever. The flag-burning troublemakers in our streets remind me how fortunate we are to have patriots who served and fought, sacrificed, and never complained. We need to support them through organizations like the Freedom Alliance. It's Military Appreciation Month and time to support those who serve. Freedom Alliance is caring for combat veterans and military families. Combat veterans fought in the worst, most dangerous places on earth. Freedom Alliance takes them to nature's most most relaxing locations so they can heal. Freedom Alliance gives injured troops mortgage-free homes, new cars, and all-terrain wheelchairs. For wounded vets, there's nothing like the stability of your own home, the reinsurance of a reliable vehicle, or the independence of a wheelchair that navigates snow, ice, beach, pasture, or most any terrain. Let's fight for those who fought for us. Go to freedomalliance.org/Godzilla and make a monthly gift that will improve the life of a military hero. That's freedomalliance.org/Godzilla. Make a contribution today.
If you're like me, most moms find it difficult to prioritize self-care. Hi, it's Colleen, Program Director at the John Fredericks Media Network. With the demands of programming 13 radio stations, it's easy to forget about the things I should do for myself daily. And that's why I started with our company's Women's Challenge with Native Path Collagen Peptides. It's affordable and convenient care in just 1 scoop a day. There are so many incredible health benefits like bone and joint support, metabolism booster, and hair, skin, and nail improvement. I like to take a moment each day to prioritize myself and indulge in the health-boosting benefits of Native Path Collagen Peptides. I love mixing it up with all the different smoothie recipes, too. Learn more about Native Path Collagen Peptides and read 7 important reasons why you should be taking collagen peptides at getnativepath.com/Godzilla. Prioritize your self-care with Native Path Collagen Peptides. Try it risk-free for as low as $21 today and get free shipping at getnativepath.com/Godzilla.
Target.com. Target.com is an online e-commerce tire retailer. We are here to serve the American public with the best possible customer service, the best pricing, and we make it extremely easy. We have many name brands and a lot of low-cost tires. The price is right, and it's easy. You go online to Target.com, TIREGET.com, Target.com. You go there, you put your zip code in, all the inventory displays right in front of you. You can call in for help if you want to. We'll help you get the tire that you need. But we will take the tires you buy and at no extra charge deliver them to the dealer right by your house where they will be installed at the market price. It's easy. The best price, the best service. Great people to deal with. Thank you for going to Target.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
In studio, the very best Trump impersonator in the world, Sean Farash. Sean, you and I usually talk politics, national, maybe sometimes local, but we're going to change the plan a little bit today. In this segment, we're going to talk about football, NFL football mostly, a little college. And in the next segment, we're going to talk about weather. And we're going to talk about the coming storm in Nashville. You are obsessed with weather and channels.
Obsessed.
And forecast models. And
yes.
so we'll talk about that in the next segment.
Sure.
You're a man of obsessions, I can tell.
Oh, when I get on something, I'm on it.
You do the Trump thing.
Yeah.
You like NFL football.
Love it.
Not so much college football.
I enjoy college football, but I'm more of an NFL fan. I grew up, in New York on Long Island, so college wasn't a big deal up there, but it is a big deal down here.
Yeah, it's a big deal in the SEC. But I mean, what colleges can you root for there in Long Island?
You're right, Hofstra, where I went to school. Every now and again.
I mean,
but they abandoned their football program once the Jets left, because the Jets used to practice there. So once the Jets left, I guess that's where they were getting a lot of their
There's no college
funding.
football on Long Island.
Stony Brook every now and again, but they're not.
They're D2 or D3?
Yeah, they're D2, I think.
And then you've got Columbia, the Ivy League in New York. I mean, come on.
Syracuse. But that's
that's upstate.
That's upstate.
I mean, that's the closest.
That's the closest you're going to get.
Closest in New York, you'll get to an actual real college program. And so you hadn't seen the classic 4th and 4, fourth quarter quarterback draw from Heisman Trophy winning Fernando Mendoza. That was a heck of a play.
Heck of a play. And you look, he's just trying to get the first down
from the 12-yard line,
and he had it, and then he just he sniffed the goal line. Went right forward. That's the kind of toughness. But I'll tell you what, going into the NFL, that's the kind of stuff that coaches are going to have to say, when you have that first down, go down. You don't want in college, you can get away with that. In the NFL, you're going to get hurt.
He had 4th and 4. He got 6 yards, and then a Hurricanes linebacker wanted to get him. he destroyed that
Yeah.
linebacker. I
Yep.
mean,
he's a big kid.
He's a big kid, yeah.
This Mendoza, but there's a lot more big people in the NFL.
Bigger.
A lot bigger.
Faster, meaner.
And that is the type of hit that when you're in the NFL, coaches don't want their quarterback taking.
And then so he hits at about the 5-yard line. He blasts the linebacker. The linebacker falls down.
Yep.
He twists around and then jumps and reaches out, stretches out, gets a touchdown. It's perhaps one of the most iconic college championship plays in modern history.
Gritty, totally gritty. And also kind of the hit wasn't as big, but when like John Elway helicoptered into the end zone.
A little bit in the Super
Kind
Bowl.
of like that.
A little bit of that. Yeah.
Kind of. But again, that's NFL. But I mean, a heck of a play. Any way you shake it, it's an amazing play. You just got to be careful with those types of plays in the NFL because that could really, really hurt him.
Okay, so he's going to be drafted first pick by the Raiders, right?
Yep, you would think.
I mean, how could you not?
How could you not?
The Raiders are a disaster.
And it's not going to be Dante Moore because he's staying in.
Yeah, the Raiders are a disaster.
Absolute mess.
No, 3-14, and Pete Carroll, he passed his sell-by date.
Yeah,
he shouldn't have hired him.
No,
I don't know who they hired.
They don't have anybody yet.
I'll tell you who they should hire.
McCarthy.
No.
Who?
Clint Kubiak,
Clint
offensive
Kubiak.
coordinator. Gary Kubiak's son.
Yep.
Offensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks. And he's taking
they're
Sam
gonna
Darnold.
they're gonna pick that Seahawks staff to shreds. The NFL is.
Oh yeah.
Because they're good.
They destroyed the 49ers.
Yeah.
41-6. I mean,
Yeah.
it was not.
It wasn't even. I turned that game off at halftime. I was like, all right,
terrible.
I'm done.
So
There was
okay,
nothing to watch.
I mean, really, in college football, Kurt Cignetti has a new way to do things. He's the new Nick Saban, I think. I think they're going to be around a long time. Of course, you got a lot of NIL money from Mark Cuban.
Yeah.
Who's an IU grad, Indiana University grad.
Yep.
But yeah, I think Fernando Mendoza will be the first pick. Okay.
If he's not, then the Raiders are the Raiders immediately jump to worst franchise in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
Immediately, because then the Jets will pick him.
Yeah.
They'll be the second worst franchise in the NFL. And then Fernando Mendoza won't do well for 3 years. He'll go somewhere else and then do well. Because, the Jets
Yeah.
are the Jets.
Yeah.
I love it, too, by the way. The Jets on Instagram, so many good pictures from this season. And I'm like, you guys won 3 games. Your defense did not intercept a single pass. They didn't even have an interception called back off of a penalty. They just did not intercept a pass. But you're going to show me good photos?
Yeah.
Here's a photo of your win-loss column.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. The tone, and I understand that their social media team has to be positive, and they can't be like, we're terrible, but you're terrible. Show your fans something.
If you've played football,
Oh.
which I in high school, and I was a quarterback and a defensive back. I had a couple interceptions my freshman year.
That's more than the Jets last year.
And
Good job.
it is the most exciting thing to have an interception.
Yeah.
And a run back. It's sort of like, this is great.
Yeah.
This is great. The Jets did not experience
They would
that
not
at
know
all.
the feeling.
They would not know the feeling.
They would not know the feeling.
Okay, before we get to the kind of what the playoffs look like for the championship, 4 teams left.
Right.
You've got the Rams and the Seahawks. That'll be a good game.
Great game.
And the Patriots and the Broncos.
Yeah.
That'll be a good game.
It's going to be interesting without Bo Nix.
I think it's interesting because Bo Nix was good.
Mhm.
He breaks his ankle in the Bills game, asterisk on that. Some of the referee calls there were a little bit questionable. But now they've got this, what's the guy's name? Jason
Stedham?
Something like that. He's been in the league for 6 years. Here's the thing. Scott or the Sean Payton.
Yes.
He's going to coach that guy up.
He's a tremendous coach.
He's going to do.
He'll find a way.
He's going to find a way. They got a plan.
He's got a plan.
Yeah. So, but I think New England will win because I think the guy will do well. But it's the Patriots year, I think. But we'll see.
Oh, I hope not.
Now,
I'm so tired. I'm not ready for them to be back in the. I'm just not. Can we not have the Patriots?
Yeah.
Can we find a way for them to lose this game? Anybody?
We'll
Maybe
see.
Vegas. Is there a lot of money on the Patriots? Vegas, you want to make a quick buck? Maybe rig a game or two. Just get the Pats out of there. I can't stand it.
So, head coaching news. The Titans made a coach pick. They picked Robert Saleh.
Robert Saleh, yeah. Former Jets head coach.
He didn't do well with the Jets.
No, he had a great defense with the Jets.
Yeah.
But there was never any offense. That's the problem. His first year or two, they got deep into the season,
Mm-hmm.
still somewhat relevant, but they could not move the ball offensively. But their defense was real good.
And their defense got destroyed. He's a defensive coordinator in San Francisco, and Seattle just destroyed him.
Yeah.
But they were pretty good throughout the year.
And they were banged up, kind of out of gas. They're on the road the whole time. Saleh will coach a great defense. He will.
But what the Titans need is a good offense.
And he doesn't. I don't think he has. He's like Rex Ryan in that where he's a phenomenal, or Steve Spagnuolo.
Yeah.
Same deal. Phenomenal coordinator. Now, Saleh did not have the success that Rex had in his NFL career as a head coach. Rex Ryan just never seemed to know offensively quite what to do.
So he's the only Muslim head coach.
Yeah, he's
in the
Lebanese.
NFL. Lebanese,
Yep.
Muslim. And there's a little bit of controversy after October 7th. He was wearing a Lebanese flag, and it's part of his flag. We're not New York City.
Right.
We're not San Francisco.
Right.
This is the buckle of the Bible Belt.
Well, and as long as he keeps this stuff to himself, it won't be an issue.
It won't, as long as, and
if he's successful,
and if he wins, nobody will care.
Right.
We'll see how that plays. Okay, I've got some news for you. The former head coach of the Miami Dolphins is now apparently going to be the offensive coordinator for the San Diego Chargers.
Okay, that's good for.
It's good for both of them.
The Chargers.
I think so.
And McDaniel, it's a better fit for him.
McDaniel's problem was Tua Tagovailoa, who's not been the same since he had those concussions.
That's right.
And Tua, love you, but buddy,
hang him up.
Hang him up. Time to retire.
For your longevity's sake.
Yeah.
Hang him up.
And you're not at the level you were.
No.
So.
And you wouldn't be after that many hits to the head.
No, you
it's
wouldn't
just,
be.
So stop doing that to yourself.
This is what you call a clue, Tua.
I give him credit for being a competitor.
Yeah, but still.
Not to your own detriment.
The Buffalo Bills fired Sean McDermott, who had a 670 winning percentage, but did make it to the Super Bowl. What do you think of that?
There's been rumors about McDermott for the last couple years.
Being in the hot seat?
Yeah. It was never public. And then you have Terry Pagula up there. He's a little bit of a loose cannon sometimes. He's the owner of the Bills.
Oh,
Terry
yeah.
Pagula.
Oh, those owners, yeah.
But, I mean, again, I think McDermott's a good coach. He's proved that. But he's not. Look, maybe the Bills feel like he plateaued. He's reached his ceiling. Fine. I'll take that ceiling with the Jets to start to revert. Yeah, but again, this is the problem. You have, and Miami did the smart thing. They fired McDaniel when Harbaugh hit the market. We're going to go after him. If you lose out, whatever. We'll just find some. Now watch McDermott go to the Dolphins.
No,
okay?
The Dolphins have hired the defensive coordinator from the Packers.
Oh, he's already in.
I think so. Yeah. I
okay.
Think so. But McDermott, I think McDermott would have been a good match here in Tennessee. But okay. Because he's more of an offensive guy. But
right.
we'll see how all that plays out. Oh, you'll love this. Baker Mayfield.
I like Baker.
Who was the quarterback at
Tampa,
Cleveland, and then bounced around, ended up and doing fairly well in Tampa.
Yeah.
So his former coach Stefanski is now the coach at Atlanta, the Falcons.
They hired him.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Mayfield is taking shots at criticizing his former coach.
Oh, jeez. That's typical Baker, though.
But I love the rivalry.
Yeah.
See, here's the deal.
That's typical Baker is like that. And that's why, because he's a gamer. He's a gamer. He's a competitor. Yeah, he's like Phil Rivers in a way.
Yeah.
Phil Rivers was a smack talker. He never cussed.
No.
But he was a smack talker on the field.
Smack talker without
calling
cussing.
out coaches, calling out refs, calling out players.
We need that.
Some of the funniest clips, if you go on YouTube,
You see
Phil Rivers trash talk.
All right, when we come
so
back,
funny.
Weather alert.
All right.
Big storm coming to Nashville.
Get ready.
You know all the models.
I'm all over it right now.
All right, we'll talk about that after this.
EJ Haast here, founder of the Digital Footprint Management Agency and frequent guest on the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, here to tell you about GetFoundEverywhere.com. Customers are searching for your business everywhere: Google, Apple Maps, TikTok, and new AI platforms like ChatGPT and Gemini, which is a total disruptor. Traditional search engine optimization isn't dead, but it is on life support. Old tactics don't work anymore. So how can you make your business stand out? GetFoundEverywhere.com makes your business pop on over 50 search, map, review, and AI-driven platforms. With one easy dashboard, manage business profiles, social media accounts, direct messages, even texts and reviews. GetFoundEverywhere.com is affordable, boosts your visibility, and gets your business more customers. It's time to step up your game the easy way. Save time, save money, and get more customers with GetFoundEverywhere.com.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
I'm Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of GlockStore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported the Second Amendment rights of free men and women to protect themselves and their families with firearms. We offer the very best in both selection and prices on Glock handguns, custom Glocks, Glock magazines, and high-performance shooting accessories at GlockStore.com. We also have the finest retail showroom and our Shoot 270 shoot rooms right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Come visit us at GlockStore.com, and you'll be glad you did.
My fellow Americans, my good friends, I've known them for a long time, at D.T. McCall & Sons have the deal of a lifetime for you, and nobody knows deals like I do. That much I can tell you. Nobody knows deals like I do. The lumber yards, they can hit you with hidden charges for up to $200 extra. They'll charge you for cords and hoses and haul-offs. Your money goes all over the place and out of the state, and most importantly, out of your pockets. How do they get away with that? I don't know how they do that, but on day one, if you buy from McCall's, we are going to stop the hidden charges as soon as you buy it. D.T. McCall & Sons has locations in Lebanon, Carthage, Lafayette, Cookeville, and Franklin, and they have been family-owned in Middle Tennessee for over 100 years. Head to one of their stores today or check them out at dtmccalls.com. You're going to love it, believe me.
Impersonator not endorsed by Donald Trump.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Our guest in studio, the very best Trump impersonator in the world, Sean Farash. Sean, you also have another skill that people don't know. You are obsessed with weather forecasts.
Yeah, I do. I love the weather. I've been big into the weather for years, ever since I was young and first saw lightning. I was like, this is cool. You know, how do we know when there's lightning coming? And it was like, turn on the Weather Channel. I see when there's yellow and red on the radar, lightning. So I always
we've got
liked
a
that.
big Arctic storm coming here in Middle Tennessee. And of course, you and I grew up in New York State.
Yep.
So we have sort of the infrastructure to deal with snow and the knowledge of how to drive in snow.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. Most of the time, the best thing to do in snow is just don't drive in it.
Yes.
Unless you know what you're doing.
Here in Middle Tennessee, we don't have the infrastructure for dealing with snow.
And the experience.
And people don't know how to drive in snow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great
That's
estate.
fine. Like Long Island does not know how to deal with a tornado, right?
There you go.
Like, we get an EF0 and it's a mess for a month. I'm sure people down in Tennessee and Alabama laugh at that. Just like, when I tell friends of mine up in, on Long Island, like, hey, you wouldn't believe it, but the state shut down for a week after 4 inches of snow. And they're like, what?
Yeah.
Well, the state don't have it's not something that happens a lot. So that's not in the budget to
so
be there.
According to WKRN, the local television station, there is a 90% chance of snow on Saturday, a high of 24, low of 18, and an 80% chance of snow on Sunday, high of 23, low of 8, and a 0% chance of snow on Monday. We're concerned, obviously, here because driving. We've got to get into the studio on Monday. We are recording a best of just in case we can't make it into the studio. But
smart.
But you are working. You are very familiar with other more sophisticated weather models. What can we expect here from the weather models that you've seen here in Middle Tennessee over the next several days?
Well, I would say this. If you look at the most accurate medium to long range model in the world, it's the European model. It shows, and you could look at the way the atmosphere is layered in this, all the way down to the surface level throughout the duration of the storm. It shows rain. That's not me saying don't prepare. That's me saying that's what the model shows.
The European model.
Yes.
Can I just interject
Sure.
this? You said something interesting to me, that the very best weather model in the world is the European model. Now, President Trump is over there, in essence, saying, you Europeans are all a bunch of weaklings, in essence, and give me Greenland. How is it that they have the best weather model in the world?
I think it's just there's been always been more computing power that's been devoted to the European model. So the GFS, which I think stands for Global Forecast System, is the American model and suffers from something that a lot of people know outside of 72 hours of that model, a cold bias. In other words, it tends to run colder and show a colder solution, right? So, for example, the European model shows a very prominent warm air intrusion in all levels, at the 700 millibar level, the 850 think of the atmosphere like a cake, a layered cake, right? And so there are different layers of the atmosphere. And in order for it to snow, you've got to be below freezing in every layer. When we deal with these ice storms, people go, well, how could it be raining at 24 degrees? Well, because aloft at the 850 millibar level, or even higher at the 700 millibar level, it's above freezing. So the precip that's falling is liquid. By the time it gets down to that freezing layer, it either freezes as sleet or it'll hit the ground where it's cold enough below freezing and freeze. That's freezing rain.
That's the most dangerous.
That's the most dangerous.
I mean, the sleet is dangerous, but if
right.
it hits
freezing
the ground
rain,
and freezes, that's bad.
Freezing rain is bad. Very, very bad. So the European model is showing warm air aloft, all the way at the top, and then down to the surface throughout a lot of the storm, which would just be
You're talking
rain.
about here in Middle Tennessee.
Yes, in Middle Tennessee. Yeah.
And the Europeans are modeling every part of the world.
The
Right?
European has a global forecast system. Canada has one too. The GEM, the GFS is there. The ICON, I think, is the German model. But the ECMWF, the European model, is the most accurate. Now, when it comes to winter storms and storms like this where you're bringing in all this moisture off the Gulf of America, right? and you're dealing with all this convection and a lot of this happening, you need to rely less on these global synoptic models and more of these what they call CAMs, which is a convection allowing or convection adapted model.
A global synoptic model.
Yes.
In other words, seen with one eye.
Right. Convection allowing models, these short range models, will be able to pinpoint where certain phenomena like dynamic cooling takes effect. So let's say you have a warm layer right before you get to the surface. So it's freezing aloft, so you got snow. It falls through into a warm layer, so you get rain, and then it goes back into a cold layer, so you get sleet down to the surface, right? Well, sometimes if you have cold air aloft, this Arctic cold, and the precipitation is so heavy, it actually drags that cold air down the column of rain or precip and cools the entire column, so you do wind up with snow. This is the craziest thing. It's one of the craziest phenomena that these long-range models cannot pick up on, but the short-range models can. So the European model shows a lot of rain in Middle Tennessee, really a non-factor, not even a lot of ice. But the American model, and I love to pound my chest and say America's number one, but not in weather, not in
weather forecasting,
in weather modeling. A lot of the other short-range models, like the RGEM, which is a short-range Canadian model, very accurate with winter storms, shows a significant ice event here in Middle Tennessee. The Euro right now is the only one that's showing a lot of just plain rain in Middle Tennessee. So you could say that's an outlier, or is it sniffing out a trend? We don't know. A lot of it comes down to how the low pressure systems phase with one another that are being thrown into the equation here, and the position of the high pressure, which is going to allow all the cold air to come and interact with the storm. There's a lot of moving parts. We're probably not going to know specifically precipitation types until maybe tomorrow afternoon for sure. Thursday afternoon. But I would say prepare for ice. I don't think you're getting 2 feet of snow. So those big predictions on the app, that everyone's excited about, wow, look at all this, might not happen, probably not going to happen. But
anything can change. If there's a missed interaction with some of the lows, if there's a different position of the high, anything can change.
So I can tell you right now, I know exactly what the next Sean Farash video should be.
Trump the Weatherman.
Yes.
I've done this a million times, man. It's great. It's so funny. I used to do this on Long Island when there was big snow coming.
When was the last time you did Trump the Weatherman?
Oh, probably when there was a hurricane. Oh, man, I don't remember when. Maybe Helene. No, maybe not. It was hurricane season. It was Hurricane Hillary off the coast of California. I said, it's a good-looking storm. Looks a lot better than Hillary Clinton in a pantsuit. So I've done Trump the Weatherman before. It's a lot of fun.
Do you have like the background?
Yeah, the big 75-inch TV that's sitting in my home studio.
And
I use the green. I could put green on it. I could just put a green image on it, and we can go to town. Yeah. So I love the weather. It's my favorite.
I think you would be doing a great public service for Middle Tennessee if you took what we just did.
Yeah.
And did Trump the Weatherman.
Well, you're going to have warm air aloft. A lot of warm air. If you want snow, you got to tell Chris Christie to shut his mouth. There's a lot of hot air coming out of that gas giant. Think about it. Think about it.
So in terms of our listeners, now, I started this by saying, according to the ABC affiliate, WKRN, 90% chance of snow Saturday, 80% chance of snow Sunday. According to the European model, you're thinking it's more likely to be ice.
Well, the European model,
rain that freezes.
The European model, you know, they say 70% chance of snow. What does that mean? That means that, or a 90% chance that you're going to see snow fall. Is it going to accumulate meaningfully? If the European model is right, the answer is no. Okay,
there we go.
If the European model is right, if the American model is right, the GFS and some of the other short range stuff is starting to come into range now. Then you will have accumulating snow. You will not have 2 feet of accumulating snow. You may have 10 inches of snow.
Still a lot.
And, maybe, 3/4 of an inch of sleet. What you want to avoid is freezing rain. The worst thing, and I've seen this happen on Long Island, is like the rain comes in and it's freezing rain and then it's sleet. And then finally you get a totally cool atmosphere and it goes to snow. And so you wind up with, 6 to 7 inches of snow on top of a sheet of ice.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's impossible to get around. You have power lines that are in trouble. What you really want to see, best case scenario for Tennessee, you want to start off with some snow. If you get some sleet, if you get some freezing rain after that, at least it's not coating the ground. It will still get on power lines and things.
Mm-hmm.
But what's dangerous is when the ice falls first, because then the snow accumulates on top of the ice and you have these heavy limbs, heavy power lines.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want that. So if it were me, I either want all snow or all rain. None of this freezing garbage, because that's when things get messy.
Yeah, and if it's black ice, you can't see it.
No.
And,
well, it's ice of color.
And
it's 2026. We got to be sensitive. It's ice of color.
I just fell into that one, didn't I? You were waiting for that ice of color.
It's like a hole in outer space is a hole of color.
But the problem is, you get on black ice, you have no control.
None.
Nope. And it's like, say a prayer.
Yeah.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Lower your PSI in your tires. If you got to go, what happens is your tire winds up, if it's a little flat, not flat, but 15 PSI or so, your tires, you have more surface area making contact with the road. I'm saying don't drive if you don't have to. Get your stuff now.
The best advice that can give our listeners is, make your grocery store runs today.
Yeah.
Right.
And by the way, bread and milk, I don't get that. Just get what you eat normally.
It's a Tennessee thing.
Yeah. It's a New York thing, too.
Is it?
It's Vic DiBattista did an old video, the guy from Jersey. I got to get the bread and milk. They said snow. It's amazing.
My advice would be get home by Friday night.
Yep.
And stay in your house Saturday and Sunday.
Yes.
And then Monday, look out like a groundhog.
Yes.
What do we have?
Do you see your shadow?
Do you see black ice on the road?
Do you not see your shadow? I'll tell you what, though. If we do wind up getting a snowier solution and we wind up with, a foot of snow or so, I am building a fort.
A snow fort.
And I am putting a Trump flag out the top of it. And, we're going to have some fun. So.
We could do a complete newscast here.
We could.
Sport. We've covered
we did sports. We did weather. And we did politics. What do we got?
Sports, politics.
Yeah, it's a one-stop shop.
What
are you going to do?
It's far more interesting than any of these, big corporate-owned ABC, NBC.
Well, you don't get Donald
CBS.
Trump doing the weather on ABC.
You can't.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't do it. We're going to build a snowman. They got to say a snow person, by the way, because you can't assume Frosty's gender anymore, right? They say, you could build a snowman bigger than Stacey Abrams. That's a big snowman, snow person. That's a snow whale when you think about it. The beast of the Southeast. Yeah. So many places we can go.
There's so many places we can. I think you're going to have to think about.
I'm thinking about
Trump
it.
the weatherman. I mean, just think about it.
I've done it before, and it's always a lot of fun. It's always a lot of fun. We got to see Thursday. Tomorrow we get a little some conclusion and resolution on what's going to fall where.
Mm-hmm.
Then we can do it.
All right. When we come back, guess what? It'll be time for News Potpourri. And we've got that great music. All right. We'll be back with Sean Frosh after this.
This is Tom Carmichael, CEO of Soul Tea, a supplement to help you have a healthier heart and stronger cardiovascular system. At Soul Tea, we regularly get emails from our customers telling us how Soul Tea has helped them. Like this one from Kelly. Hello, I'm 58 years old and have had high cholesterol for years. I wanted to stay away from prescription drugs. My husband and I have been using Soul Tea for about 13 months. My results have been amazing. My cholesterol levels went from 291 to 129. I am so impressed with Soul Tea and want to thank you. Now, in my own case, my bad cholesterol dropped from 130 to 89, and that was 20 years ago. I'm 75 years old and I take 0 prescription drugs. To get a great deal on Soul Tea, please go to GodzillaHeart.com, and when you check out, use the code Godzilla to get our best deal, which is 50% off your first shipment and then 3 bottles for the price of 2 thereafter. You don't have to live with a broken heart.
Do you suffer from
Try
declining
Soul Tea
bone and
today.
joint health? Hi, it's Tina with the John Fredericks Media Network. And when I heard about our company's Women's Challenge, I jumped on the opportunity to test this amazing supplement that's already restoring my bone density, soothing my joint pain, and helping me regain lost mobility. I've experienced so many benefits in such a short time with Native Path Collagen Peptides because they support my bones and joints, boost my metabolism, and unleash the most radiant skin and hair since my 20s. In just 2 weeks, my knee stiffness is gone, and I'm already hitting the gym more aggressively. And I get so many compliments on my glowy skin and shiny hair. Native Path Collagen Peptides are so easy to take. They're tasteless, odorless, and mix great with my morning coffee. Read thousands of 5-star reviews at getnativepath.com/Godzilla. Level up your self-care with Native Path Collagen Peptides. Try it risk-free for as low as $21 today. And get free shipping at getnativepath.com/Godzilla.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cells Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. In studio, our favorite weatherman, Sean Frosh.
Yeah, you know it.
Very
That's
good.
it.
Very good. Also, the very best Trump impersonator in the world, bar none. Sean, it's that time of day again. It's time for News Potpourri. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, News Potpourri. This is the portion of the program we talk about the stories that are of note, don't necessarily merit a full segment, and have a touch of
irony.
Irony. Well, here's one. Today, the House Oversight Committee is voting on whether to charge Bill and Hillary Clinton with contempt of Congress for ignoring a subpoena to testify before Congress.
Wonder how that's going to go. We'll see.
I
mean, they should give him the Bannon treatment.
Yeah.
Right? Precedent's there. Give him the Navarro treatment, right? The precedent is there. You ignored a subpoena. You are now in contempt of Congress.
Yeah.
It should be that simple, but the House has the ability to. What was it? I think it was Barack Obama who said, "Never underestimate Joe's ability to f things up." Right? That's like the House GOP. These
The House
days.
is doing that a little bit these days. We'll see. By the way, here's something I found interesting from President Trump's address earlier today to the World Economic Forum, the globalists in Davos, Switzerland. Quote, "We have weapons that nobody knows about." End quote.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say maybe it is Stacey Abrams, but everyone knows about her because we dropped her on Iran. That's the bunker buster.
Here's a sports-related story. The quarterback at Duke University, they won the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
They're only 8-5. I don't know how they did in the bowl game, but he is applied for transfer portal, and they're suing him because he didn't deliver. He signed. Apparently, his NIL contract is longer. Isn't that interesting? How they're suing quarterbacks?
That's wild.
I read. Did you see Carson Beck, the quarterback from Miami?
Miami. He was with Georgia last year.
Yeah, and he made $4 million this year, according to reports.
How does that happen?
Well, it's NIL money, basically.
Okay.
And, alumni give money.
Right.
And now it's legal for them to, cut deals or whatever with sponsors.
Okay.
$4 million.
Right, right.
If you are a college football player at a certain level, particularly among quarterbacks, you're probably better off playing as many years as you possibly can in college. You make more money.
Yep.
Because Carson Beck's made $4 million this year. He's going to be a 4th or 5th round draft pick.
Yeah, he's not going to be.
He's not going to make that kind of money.
Not in the NFL.
No. Anyways, well, it's interesting. Do you know the actor Timothy Busfeld?
Mm-mm.
He's a beard guy. He played in what's the Kevin Costner movie?
Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams.
Oh, I think we were talking about this. The brother, right?
Yeah, the brother-in-law.
He just got charged with something nasty, right?
Yeah, somebody did did improper behavior with a child, 2 children.
Something like that.
He says it's a setup. He was in prison, in jail. The judge has just ordered his release.
Okay.
Innocent till proven guilty.
Sure,
even
that's
for
fine.
a left-wing liberal.
That's fine.
Speaking of left-wing liberals, there's this report. Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Oh. The biologist, right?
Yeah,
She's
the
not a biologist.
stupidest questions.
I shouldn't have done weather last segment. I'm not a meteorologist. I can't define rain.
Hold on. You're not a meteorologist.
No.
But you play one on the Michael Patrick Leahy show.
I do. They say, you're an amateur meteorologist? I'm a weather hobbyist.
What hobby? That's a very good way to put it. A weather hobbyist.
Enthusiast.
So apparently, Ketanji Brown Jackson's questions were so stupid. How stupid were they, you would ask?
Right, Gene Rayburn, right? Match game?
Yeah. Clarence Thomas is covering his face with his hands as she's talking. There's going to be more and more of that.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, we need to protect Clarence Thomas at all costs, by the way. I need that man wrapped in bubble wrap.
Really?
Don't let him leave his house because he is a gem.
He is. Okay, this is interesting. Have you heard about the new Star Trek series?
No, I haven't heard about it.
It is woke as all woke can be.
I'm sure it is.
It's going to fail.
Is the Enterprise trans?
Yeah, there's trannies. There's all sorts of, special considerations.
The Borgs, are they like?
Yeah, who knows? They're all bad. Crazy. Yeah. Denmark, because they got their noses out of joint because we're basically going to take Greenland.
We're taking it.
We're taking it.
It's going to happen.
And now the president said, we're not going to use force. And the Pentagon said, we don't have any plans to invade Greenland, but we're taking it.
We're taking it, yeah.
Denmark is upset. Their retirement fund, they're selling $100 million in U.S. Treasury bonds.
Okay.
So they're going to, okay, they're all upset. Okay.
They're upset. All right, fine. You're still not keeping Greenland.
Scott Bessent, the Secretary of Treasury, has a response to that.
Oh, he ripped them today, I think.
He said basically Denmark is irrelevant.
Yeah. I like Scott Bessent. He's a bit of a bulldog, right? And sometimes
he's a total bulldog.
He's a little abrasive, right? Kind of maybe sometimes.
He and Elon Musk kind of mixed it
yeah,
up, supposedly.
Yeah, Scott Bessent
Blows
has sometimes,
were
I've heard like he's got the personality of sandpaper a little bit sometimes, he's a little tough. But you need that with your Treasury Secretary.
Yeah.
I'm cool with it. Keep pushing Europe around. I think it's great.
Remember that astronaut who was kind of lost in space or stuck in space?
Yeah, there were two of them, right?
Two of them.
One of them's from Tennessee.
Yeah, Butch Wilmore is from Tennessee, and the woman they were supposed to be up there for a week.
Yeah, they went up there for like over a year.
Boeing couldn't deliver them back, and
right.
so Elon Musk had to go up and fix them.
With Starlink. Not Starlink, SpaceX, yeah.
So Sunny Williams, she's the one with that wild, crazy hair.
Mm-hmm.
Remember?
Yeah.
So she was in for 27 years, and she's retired from NASA.
Well, I would probably do that too. After getting stuck in outer space for a long time, I would retire from NASA also.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, guys, I don't want to do that anymore. Thanks. They're adapting well, though, I guess it sounds like. They're like, because there was a thought that their bones weren't going to be dense enough to walk and stuff.
I think there's a concern about that.
Still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know this is very sad news. Ilhan Omar is under investigation for possible immigration fraud.
You know what? I'm so sad about that. But you know what? I could tell her, look, don't worry about it, Ilhan. Some people did something, and now you're indicted.
So here's what we should do. We can trade Ilhan Omar to Denmark for Greenland. What do you
think? They love their Muslim refugees.
They do?
Yeah, take her. Take her. And the rest of the bug people, take them. That's it. Take them all.
John Farage, thanks so much for joining us on this Trump Day, Wednesday. All right, I'll be back tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock Central Time. I hope you have a great day. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy, the website TennesseeStar.com. Thanks for joining us.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Hey there, it's Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of GlockStore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported our Second Amendment rights with GlockStore.com, the world's #1 source for Glock handguns, parts, and accessories. I also support accurate, unbiased journalism like The Michael Patrick Leahy Show. His team broke the Kilmar Abrego Garcia traffic stop and was the first to obtain that video. Independent journalism at its finest. Visit us at GlockStore.com. Listen to Michael Patrick Leahy and make America great again.
FlatFeeNashville.com is a full-service real estate brokerage that charges homeowners a upfront flat fee of $999 to completely list, market, and sell your home. We are all about saving consumers money, saving that equity. Nobody should hire an agent and feel like when that agent walks in the door, that agent is more concerned about the down payment on their next Mercedes purchase versus saving the equity that those homeowners have worked hard for. I've spent my entire career in ensuring that the equity that people save and they put into their monthly mortgage every single month, as much of that as we possibly can goes back to them when they go to list and sell that home. The idea is to give homeowners the ability to really create generational wealth.
FlatFeeNashville.com, FlatFeeNashville.com.